Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the BJJ Foxcast. I am your host, Alex Martinez, and today I have my good friend Aaron Wilson on the show. Aaron was my very first wrestling coach, by the way. He's fresh off of his Combat Jiu Jitsu Worlds debut. He is a Soul Fighters black belt. He is I'm going to go through the list, a veteran of the Tower Grand Prix, Fight to Win, EBI, U.S. Open qualifier. He is Third Coast Grappling, Emerald City Invitational. I'm getting exhausted just listening to all this stuff. He's a former MMA fighter with a record of 3-0. Is that right?
It's actually 3-2.
3-2. Sorry, I saw 3-0.
We don't count the two.
We don't count those. He's an agro sponsored athlete. He's a firefighter. He's a father. You got a lot of shit going on, brother. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, man. Good to have you. So let's kick it right off, man. Let's talk about Mexico.
Okay.
Tell me about the trip. How did you get like involved with that? Like, who reached out to you?
So about a year and a half ago, I was slotted to do the last combat jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
So I had to pull out of that, unfortunately. A little shoulder injury I had going on. So Eddie still keeps us in rotation. I did the EBI qualifier last year in El Paso.
Yeah.
So he asked me to be on the EBI, and I had a jacked up foot from the qualifier, so I wasn't able to do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, Eddie, I really want to do one of these things. Just keep asking me. Like, I'm here. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So he just reached out to me, texted me.
That's Eddie Bravo.
Eddie Bravo, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's listening?
Who's awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
I can't really stress enough like how great of it.
Yeah. Tell me about your relationship with him. How did that come about?
I don't have like a super great relationship with him, just communicating throughout the events that I've been a part of.
Yeah.
But I've had a few conversations with him at the events, and went really well, and kind of hit it off. And he's just a rad dude. And as soon as I lost last week, he came up to me before I even got off the mat, and he was like, "Hey, like don't worry, dude. Like, you did well, and you're part of our family now." So
Oh, cool, man.
yeah. So hopefully I can get out for another event and just keep going, because his events are better than anything else, man.
Yeah.
All the other pro events I've been on are nothing compared to his. Like, it's a whole different level, from the way they handle it leading up to it, the way they compensate you financially, the production value on UFC Fight Pass. I don't know if you guys watched it, but
Yeah.
it's just like everything else is here.
Yeah.
And Eddie's events are here,
Yeah.
It's just, it really makes the guys feel professional. Man, and I had a blast.
Yeah.
Looks like it ran smooth too. Like it just kept moving.
Oh, without a hiccup,
Yeah.
dude. It's beautiful. I mean, he's got it down. That was, he's had a lot of these events.
Yeah.
So he's got it down to
I mean,
art.
EBI Invitational, like all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, he stays really involved. I mean, he was there in reffing a couple of matches, and
Yep.
you know, he seemed like really engaged the entire time. It was really good. So tell me about the trip to Mexico. So you head out, and how many days were you in Mexico?
We got out there Saturday morning and we left Monday morning.
Okay, and it's in Cabo, right?
It was in Playa del Carmen, which
Yep.
is like 30 minutes from Cancun.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And man, it was a good time.
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
So the Friday, I believe it was the Friday before you competed. Amy and I were at the Chipotle, and this lady says, "Hey, is that a jiu-jitsu shirt you're wearing?" And Amy turns around, she goes, "Yeah, we have this school right up the road." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm Aaron Wilson's mom." So we had lunch with your mom the day before your fight.
She'll talk your ear off, man.
She was great.
I didn't even know you had a mom. I met your dad 100 times. I've never sent you
My
your mom.
mom, my mom is the nicest lady in the world.
She is, man. She's awesome.
She's pure-hearted, and I love her to death. She's great.
Yeah, man. Yeah, she was very proud and very nervous. And I said,
She was very concerned about the event.
yeah.
I guess she was a nervous wreck at my house, pacing back and forth.
Yeah, man. So, the combat jiu-jitsu rule set, is that EBI rules with smacking, basically?
There's a couple things that make it different. So you start standing, and then there's a get down rule after a minute. So if there's no takedowns after a minute, no guard pulls, who's ever more competitive or giving more effort will be able to choose top or bottom in a butterfly position.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I elected to choose down with the double unders of the butterfly.
Yeah.
Because I like to do a little bear hug from there, like a little throw.
Yeah.
So that was part of my plan, and I actually executed that the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
Which was cool. Actually, went in there with the game plan and implemented it pretty perfectly up until when I got submitted. So
Yeah.
kind of unfortunate.
There's no striking standing, right?
No, and I got hit standing. So that's what this is from. If you go back and watch it.
I thought that was just makeup.
Nah. Okay.
I mean, I watched the whole fight, and I thought you were pretty dominant the entire fight until I think you guys just kind of got a little wild and you got caught.
Yeah, it was ego at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
But dude, you know what? It was a good show. Everybody said like, man, you guys, that was fun to watch.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's like, man, I really want to win. I really want to start beating these guys. But
Yeah.
if I can go out there and put on a show, that's cool too.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, they say if you crack one and he's open and say O's 3 times, Paul Nava will appear.
Careful.
There's some truth to that. There's some truth to that. Yeah, I got him on the show one time with Q. Who was it? Q, John, me, and you.
Samir was here. No, I wasn't here.
Anyway, so I got him on the show, and he was like very, I don't know, he was very quiet, you know. And then I got him on a show again. Oh gosh,
Was that the one with Kabe?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that was the second time with Kabe.
Oh, okay.
And
He was like always like he would talk to me about it. Like I'd show up to class. He's like, "You were on the podcast again? I don't know if I could do it. I'm afraid I might say something stupid."
That's what he said
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Like, right when you first started this.
Yeah.
he wants me to go on. I don't know, man.
yeah, so I got him on just like one-on-one, and now he's hooked. He's like setting things up. He's like, "Oh, I got this guy on the hook. We're gonna be on." I'm like, "All right, cool, man."
I listened to the last one. He was spitting poetic justice, man. He was really letting it rip from his heart. That's
He
awesome.
was, man. Yeah.
And
yeah.
and he's a beautiful person if he does that, you know.
Yeah.
You guys know him like I know him, and yeah, he's an awesome person, man.
Yeah, he is. He is. Let's talk about your relationship with him, because I know it's pretty unique in the jiu-jitsu world, right? Normally, it's like, you know, it's like instructor-student type of relationships, but you guys are like brothers, man.
Yeah.
It's a very close relationship. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so when I first started, I started under Pedro Diaz. I was just walking through a strip mall and saw a jiu-jitsu place.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. I trained there for like 2 months.
Okay.
And then Paul had a falling out with NAK, the Kaji Kempo school.
Yeah.
And he was looking for a place to teach. So Pedro hired him. And they had a little bit of a rift. And like I got super close with Paul right off the bat.
Yeah.
So I just left with Paul.
Okay.
And like we didn't have an academy. It was like 6 of us. At the time, it was really just me, Kevin Duran, Jenny Larson.
What about Villalobos? Was he in that crew?
He was, but he wasn't like active at that point because we were all getting ready. So this happened so Paul got into it with like a terrible human being at that school who deserved everything Paul gave him.
Yeah.
But we were getting ready to go to the Vegas Open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was 20, actually turned 21, and then I think like the next day we left. Yeah, it was crazy, and we were getting ready for a tournament when that happened. So we were like gym hopping leading up to it. So like,
Wow.
we like spent a day at Westbrook's, spent the day at Chris Lopez's, spent the day at AZ Combat with Gustavo. Like we were just like Paul, where are we going, dude? And then he was able to start renting mat space at the spot on Dobson, which I don't believe you guys were around for.
No.
Yeah, so there was a Quest Martial Arts, a karate school, really, really nice people. Let us use their mats, abuse their mats. But I mean, that's where Paul made his big growth.
Yeah.
Was in that little rented mat space in the evening. I mean,
Wow.
I think when he first started off there was like 6 of us, and I think by the time he left there and opened up his spot on Alma School, his first spot, I want to say he probably had a good like 30, 40 people.
Wow.
But at the time, me and Paul lived in the same neighborhood, just randomly, and I had a suspended license. So Paul would pick me up and take me to practice every day.
Wow.
So that's how we got really close, was just every day, driving 30 minutes to talking to each other, getting to know each other.
Is that when he first opened up that spot at Alma School, like the smaller location that was like a couple doors down from where?
Yeah, the little wind tunnel.
Yeah, yeah, that tiny little, and we had the puzzle mats.
Yeah, and I want to say that was like 2012 seems about right.
I started at the end of 2012.
Yeah, I started beginning at 13.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it must have been pretty early in that, and that's
You started at the wind tunnel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and we all still talk about you blowing up the bathroom.
First of all,
That 1,400 square foot spot, and never
I
apologized.
was going to bring that up.
You
because I
never
heard you talking shit on the last podcast. You know what, dude? The guys in the fire service would definitely agree with you. So. Still to this day.
It's all those protein shakes, man.
It's all the protein shakes.
It's a lot of protein.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, so when Paul was starting up, I mean, you took on a lot of responsibility and helped him out a ton because, you know, we talk about this in the podcast all the time. Paul is basically up at 3 a.m. He works all morning and then takes a nap and then comes in. So by the time, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. rolls around, it's pretty exhausting. So you were the wrestling coach for a while. Yeah. You were the kids coach for a while. Mm-hmm. And then you taught a lot of the fundamental stuff. And sometimes you would, when Paul wasn't around, you would teach the mixed level stuff. So you were a really big part of that startup, right? Yeah. What was your favorite part? What did you enjoy doing the most?
I like coaching the kids.
Yeah.
That was such a great group of kids I had at the time. Like a bunch of really athletic kids.
Yeah.
That were just like very naturally gifted. And then what a blessing to watch them grow up into adults now.
Yeah.
And make me feel really old. I mean, I think Luis was like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
God, do you remember
Lucas?
him? He's like this tall?
Yeah.
Now he's taller than me.
Yeah.
And they're still training.
Yeah.
It's great. And even kids that don't even live here anymore or like in the military and stuff. Like, message me randomly, just like, hey, coach,
so
just
cool.
don't remember, you know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah,
it was just a good group, and they stuck together for a while too.
Yeah.
Like that core group of kids. It was fun taking them to tournaments, and I've always just kind of had a passion for working with kids. So
yeah. One thing that I've noticed about the kids from, I'm sure it's this way in a lot of schools, but the kids at Paul Nava's, they very much still keep in touch with each other. You know what I mean? Like they're still a close group, and some of them haven't seen each other in a few years. But they still talk to each other. They still talk about each other.
I mean, it's
very much a cool thing.
easy right now. I mean,
just get on the TikToks.
Yeah. Start to noodle.
I'm too old for that.
Yeah.
I don't have a TikTok.
One of the kids on Friday asked him how to like.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So we use Zen Planner for like our customer management, and we asked everybody to put the profile pic on the Zen Planner, because when you have 100 students, I'm not going to say it's easy, but you kind of remember everybody's face. When it grows beyond that, it's really difficult, and you're like, what's this guy's name? You know what I mean? So we asked them to put photos on their profiles, and then one of the teenagers is like, how do I do that? I'm like, you're asking a 50-year-old? You're asking me how to do that. Bad call.
Dang. It's like me as a teenager right there.
So let's talk about your wrestling background. Where did you wrestle originally?
I just wrestled for a program in Gilbert High School. So I wrestled at Highland Junior High and then Highland High School. Which at the time was a powerhouse wrestling program. We won a state championship my sophomore year.
Wow.
But every other year I was there. We were right there in the mix too, top 5 school. So got to wrestle with some really solid dudes. A couple guys that went D1, a couple D2 guys. My best friend Nick, you guys know Nick Mills.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was an absolute beast. He was a Nevada state champ, and then he got second here twice. Just a lot of good guys that I was able to be around and watch and get better from. So, I wrestled in high school, placed in state, had an urge to wrestle in college. Didn't last very long. I just made it like a month and a half in the summer. GCU had a D2 program.
Okay.
It was the first year actually that they had it, and I was going over there in the summer and practicing, and it just kind of fizzled out. And then from there, got involved in MMA and Jiu Jitsu and stuff. So
yeah. So let's talk about MMA.
Okay.
That doesn't seem like, it seems like a natural progression for wrestlers, right? Kind of jumping into that.
It's like forever ago.
I remember going to those like cockfights at that place on what was it, Country Club and Baseline or something.
I've never been to one. I went to that Freedom Fight Night.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, like a month and a half ago. And I was like sitting there with you guys know Greg, he's been on the show, my physical therapist.
Yeah.
And I was like looking at the fights and looking at him. I was like, that seems kind of silly, huh? I can't believe I used to do this. This is making me nervous. But yeah, I mean, that's the whole reason I started training.
Okay.
To be an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
I was a big WEC fan, big UFC fan.
Yeah.
I liked all the wrestlers that did MMA. I was a big fanboy of all those guys.
Yeah.
And I did that for 5-6 years.
Okay. Yeah.
5 years. So trained at Power MMA, which was a premier MMA program at the time.
Yeah.
incredible facility, a lot of UFC guys. It was cool. I had a good time. I did the pro class there, and then I'd go train at Nav in the evening. But I was always kind of prioritizing my jiu-jitsu before MMA.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those sports where you have to kind of be all in. So I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I think it took a while for me to realize that I just didn't love it.
Mm.
You know, I love jiu-jitsu. It was never like a chore to go to jiu-jitsu. It was always something I looked forward to. But certain days for MMA, I was like, man, I don't like this. So,
Yeah. What is it about jiu-jitsu that makes it so appealing?
oh, it's just fluid motion, just a way for me to express myself.
Yeah.
I don't do a good job like expressing my emotions.
Right.
Stuff like that. Jiu-jitsu is a way I can express myself,
Mm.
and I can just be free and move and not think and just do my thing. I like getting in a groove and going. Like, it just feels good to be in that moment, you know,
Yeah.
especially competition too. Like when I can get in my groove and I'm feeling it, and just a way for me to show like, hey, this is my jiu-jitsu. This is how I do it.
Mm.
I like that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as you know, my jiu-jitsu experiences, one of the experience that I had with working with you is you were starting the wrestling program at Nava's place, and I was like, I had zero confidence in my anything. I mean, anything. You could forget about stand up and anything, right? So I remember I went up to you and I was
This
like,
is chubby white belt. Alex.
chubby white belt Alex. Yeah. It was like, hey, I'm going to compete, but I don't know quite what to do when I'm standing up. And I started asking questions about pulling guard, and you're like, yeah, don't do that shit. And then and then we started wrestling, right? You started showing me wrestling, and the wrestling class was hit or miss at the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times it was just me and you on the mats.
Mm-hmm.
And I know from experience, when you have one guy show up, especially that person has no experience and they're brand new, you're like, but you never overtly said that. You took the time, and
He felt it though. He felt it.
I know. But my first win in jiu-jitsu was the takedown that you showed me.
Yeah.
I took a guy down and he broke his rib.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he broke his rib. So it was like in the first couple of seconds of the match, I shot in, I took him down, and I went, you know, we ended up out of bounds. I went back to center, and I turned around, he wasn't there. And the guy was laying on the ground holding his ribs like, yes. It's kind of messed up, but yeah, that was my
Hey,
first
win's a
win.
win, right?
Well, I mean, you did what other people don't want to do.
Yeah.
And that trend of people not showing up to wrestling, it's pretty prevalent in any jiu-jitsu academy
Yeah.
I've been to.
Mhm.
You guys just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know? But you did, and you got really good really quick.
Yeah, thank you.
And I remember
Because wrestling's easy.
Shit.
it's not but no, you would just drill the same takedown like
Yep, over and over. That's all we
200-300
did.
times, yeah.
Yep.
And I remember, I think we were in San Jose, and you like blast doubled the shit out of some guy, and whatever, you beat him up pretty good, and then you got done with the match. And I remember he asked you like what college you wrestled at.
Oh yeah. I was like, no,
I didn't even.
not even.
But I
close.
remember you came and told me, and I was like, damn, that's a good
Awesome, compliment.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that just goes with like I had one takedown, and I just practiced that one takedown. That's all we did. That
Yeah.
same one over and over. So that helped a
That's
ton.
that like Bruce Lee, thing where you
Yeah, right.
practice one kick 1,000 times.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, man. Yeah. So that that's always like really fulfilling. You know what I mean? When you have somebody new that hits something that you've been working on with them. You know what I mean? That's like,
Especially when they hit it on you.
yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Then it's never happened to me. I just,
Of course not. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to know from personal experience.
I've heard that was pretty cool.
yeah, man. Yeah. So we were actually talking about weight cutting in wrestling and jiu-jitsu, and a lot of things have changed in the past few years. But we were talking about the weight cut that you tried to hit. Were we in Prescott? We were going to go to Prescott. We took a big team.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about weight cutting a little bit, because that was a traumatic experience for all of us. I mean, you ended up in the hospital.
For everyone involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't cut weight anymore
Yeah.
at all. Maybe, I think like for the trials, I had like 2 or 3 pounds, which is like I skip a meal the night before.
Yeah.
But I usually just am underweight or compete right where I walk around at now.
Yeah.
But I grew up cutting weight. That was what I did. I remember being like, man, my junior year of high school, I was like 118, 120 pounds, 3% body fat, trying to make 105,
Mhm.
Holy shit.
and like having to cheat on weight certifications.
yeah.
State was putting on, like
Yeah.
some kids weren't getting hurt. I'm over here like cheating on it.
How do you cheat on that?
So I don't want to give kids a so basically, yeah. Well, so back, I don't know what it's like now, to be honest with you. And if my kid ever wrestles or I coach kids that wrestle, I will never push them to cut weight.
Okay.
At all. That's just, it was so dumb. I could have gotten hurt.
Yeah.
But so if you miss like the first initial date for the weight certification, so what they do is they check your urine and then they check your body fat
to make sure you're hydrated.
Yeah. And then and if you're not hydrated, you need to get hydrated. And then basically you get certified at whatever weight they find that you'll be able to do healthy. Right. So a way to cheat on it was if you missed the first date that they do it, it would be held at your school. Right. And like your athletic director would put it on.
Yeah.
So it was like done like in the locker room.
Yeah.
So, and kids did this too at like the first date, but you just, half pee in the cup and then flush the urinal and then let the water run in the cup too.
Oh, wow.
And then it would come up hydrated.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
I think I cheated every weight certification. But no, like I walked around that year. It was a terrible year for me. I walked around that year like legit looking like a cancer patient, like
Wow.
pasty, eyes sunken in.
Yeah.
I think I was eating like a power bar every day for lunch. And then I was going and wrestling for 2.5 hours,
Yeah.
like, which to this day, like, man, I've trained at a premier MMA gym. I've trained with some of the best grapplers in the world. Those high school wrestling practices were the hardest shit I've done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane, dude.
Dude, yeah.
And, yeah, I was just going and doing that on nothing.
Wow.
And then, yeah, not sleeping at night because my mouth is dry. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't drinking water. Like, if I had the knowledge I have now back then, just about nutrition and everything, man, that would have been great. But we didn't know. We just did what other kids were doing and what we knew. And we were lying to our parents and lying to our coaches about, like, it was bad.
As gnarly as that is, though, like anybody's taught a fundamentals class and had a brand new white belt like wrestler from like high school or whatever, they come in and they will fucking work their ass off.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any way you get there without like grinding like that. Like,
Yeah.
But to get back on that Prescott thing.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I go off on little tangents, dude.
Run, dude.
That's
Yeah.
what
I'm
this is
all over
for.
the place.
There's
dude.
no
I'll
rules
fucking-
here, man.
I'll go down the street. I'll be all around.
Drink up.
So I think at the time I was 25. And that was like, remember, you guys know Aaron Simpson.
Oh, yeah.
He was my MMA coach at the time. And I had a conversation with him and I'm like, I think I'm ready to go pro. And he's like, okay.
You haven't even drank this. Sorry.
Yeah, let me get a little bit of that too.
Oh,
want some?
yeah.
I just want to
Please.
try. I just want to
Yeah,
try
hit it.
Not a
Yeah.
whole lot, just a little bit. I just want a little taste.
Just fill the glass. If he doesn't like it.
Just give me the bottle, dude. So I remember having the conversation with Aaron Simpson. I was like, dude, I think I'm ready to go pro. Like, I'm 25. If I'm going to do it, it's like time now.
Mm.
He's like, yeah, I think you're ready too. So, we decided that 145 was what I profiled well at. At the time, I walked around about 165. 160, 165. Sorry, give me a second.
Yep.
That's a good beer. So yeah, it was time to go pro, and that was a good weight class for me. So I followed the weight cutting to the T, had all the sheets printed out, had it down to a science. Everything I ate was weighed out to every ounce, certain time. I followed it perfectly. The day of weigh-ins, I think so the weigh-ins were in the evening. I was still here in town. I was in Gilbert. And it sucked, dude, because I was cutting weight by myself.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. So I remember being at Power, like in the sauna, going in and out and in. And I was just by myself, and it was like fucking brutal.
Yeah.
And I think I had like, I don't know, 8 pounds that day of, which is, I was tracking like perfectly.
Yeah.
And then I think with about 5 pounds left, my body was just like, nope.
Whoa.
So I went back home and I did some Epsom salt baths and by myself again, just grinding it out. And I remember my roommate came home and just found me in my bedroom on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just out. Like, I don't know. I was sleeping, just completely out of it, like wrapped up in a towel.
Jesus.
And like woke me up and was like scared. I was like, dude, you sure? All right. I was like, Yeah, I think so. So my dad came.
You're
over.
25. You're like,
Yeah, I don't
fucking
know. Yeah.
I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
I may have just died.
Yeah.
So my
Wow.
dad came and picked me up, and we went to Prescott, and I still had a couple more pounds. So
Yeah.
we found a sauna at that hotel.
Bucky's.
Whatever that
The
was.
Bucky's on the hill. Yeah, yeah.
Oh God, the terrible weekend. Found a sauna, and I got the rest out,
Wow.
and I made weight. And after weigh-ins, I had like probably 2 IV bags. I was feeling
Gosh.
good. Fuck yeah, I made weight. And my opponent, I don't know if you guys remember, came in like 12 pounds overweight.
Yep. That's what I remember. Yeah, you don't remember that?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. So I was like,
This motherfucker like grinds.
Yeah.
And then this motherfucker doesn't even try.
He's
Like,
eating a
dude.
cheeseburger. On
he's
the
like,
day.
yeah. On the scale, he's got food
apparently
in his
he
mouth.
was like homeless, and at the time he'd been living off like peanut butter and jellies.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That's what they told me.
Yeah.
But that
Whatever,
was
bro.
when Nolan was running that, and him and his brother were running that Rage in the Cage at the time. Anyways, I go back to my hotel room. I'm so stoked about eating. Like, and it's nothing good. It's just
Right,
whatever
yeah.
that's on that sheet. And I
Yeah.
have to and I can only eat this much like every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I, like,
Right.
only
Yeah.
have this much liquid, and like it's timed out.
Well, plus your
Yeah.
stomach is like shrunk.
Yeah.
Right,
It's a
but like,
refeed.
dude, seriously, like that was one of the most stoked moments of my life. I was so excited, and I remember there was like a Suns game on or something, and it was just like simple. It's like, I'm gonna sit down and watch the Suns game, and I'm gonna drink and eat, and it's gonna be the most perfect thing ever. And I was loving life. Like I was just sitting there, smile on my face, and I was like sitting there. I don't know. I probably was like a good 30 minutes into my refueling. I was like, damn, my chest is like super tight right now,
Mm.
and it kept getting worse. So I just let it go, and I usually wait a long time with things like that. Like I have a pretty good pain tolerance.
Right. Yeah.
And I waited and I waited and I waited, and it got worse and it got worse to the point where like I couldn't breathe.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
So my dad was staying a couple rooms down, so I just went over there. I was like, hey, something's not right. So he took me to the hospital, and they never did tell me what was wrong with me. Like I never found out. I just know that I was really worked up, and I was like telling the nurses like, you got to find out what's wrong with me. Like I fight tomorrow. Like I have to fight tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they ended up shooting me up with something to calm me down. But I think I slept for like 10 hours and woke up just like completely out of it.
Whoa.
Your electrolytes were probably so fucked that you
Yeah.
were probably actually having an arrhythmia.
I don't know, but they were really concerned. Like I said, I got knocked out pretty quick, so I don't remember like the details, but the doctor was really concerned. And
Knocked out, not in the fight.
Yeah.
no,
the
I
hospital.
didn't
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
fight. But anyways, so
We had a blast, by the way. Fucking bar hopping in Prescott. It
apparently
was so much
everybody-
fun.
I remember I didn't go out afterwards because
No.
I was so depressed,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and everyone else went out and got super fucked up.
We did.
Oh my
It was
God.
so much fun.
I had like I had like 40 people there, dude.
Yeah, we
And I
had-
sold so many shirts. It was
Yeah.
just like, man, that's the fucking MMA scene, dude.
Yeah.
But, anyways, the guy that was supposed to fight, so the commission was like, you know what? We cannot do your guys' fight at 145. Like, we cannot allow it because he was so far overweight.
Yeah.
So we're gonna redo it at it was like 166,
Oh, gosh.
and I think he missed weight again.
Oh, man.
And that's where you
So
sit,
the commission
right?
was just like, listen, this is not happening. Like, and I was like, well, good, because I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like fucked up right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
my mind was like, I was just like foggy. I probably would have got beat up if I would have fought like that.
You would have done it,
Oh,
but
yeah. I mean, the guy's fueled and didn't cut at all. And yeah,
Yeah.
of course, man. Yeah.
and you just were in the hospital.
I think you
having a
would've-
heart attack. Basically,
I think you would have whipped his ass.
No.
Yeah, that's
What is that?
that is horse soldier.
I actually don't.
It tastes like a horse soldier.
All right, well, let's get on this. So this is barrel. Oh, okay, we fucked up.
Why?
So this is barrel strength, which
Yeah.
means so when you age whiskey, right? You put it in a barrel. A lot of the water that's already in that evaporates out, right? So when it comes out of the cask, it's a high percentage. So for bourbons and a lot of whiskeys end up in like that 140 proof area. This is barrel proof, so they don't water it down. Most of the time, when they put it into a bottle, they water it down to like 90 proof,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, that's well over 90.
This is barrel proof. This is 57.45% alcohol, but so it's 115% or 115 proof.
Okay, so that flinch, I wasn't.
No, you're
I wasn't
okay.
being a bitch
No.
No.
I mean, you're being a bitch, but
We're like, here, have some man whiskey real quick.
I mean, it was so good. It was delicious.
Yeah. So this is barrel strength bourbon whiskey. So uncut. They don't even. However it comes out of the barrel, this is what they're pouring into the bottle, which is, in my opinion, the best way to get bourbon. But it's, if you're not like, if you don't drink a lot of bourbon, it's going to be rough.
yeah, but it's pretty tasty. It's not bad.
No, it's good.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's delicious.
Yeah,
It's really good.
Mike Kona gave me that for my 50th birthday.
You might like it if you put like a little cube in it and let it melt,
Oh,
because
okay.
it'll water it down to like what most people drink bourbon at,
I got you.
and it'll cool it off too. It'll be really smooth that way.
This is a good beer.
Yeah, I got those. I got those when Nava was on the show.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
it.
I got another one for you downstairs.
Sweet.
So was that your last MMA fight? Was your last scheduled fight? Yeah.
That was where I stopped.
That was like the fuck it
That was
moment.
the final straw for me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it wasn't like, it's never one thing.
Right.
I just got sick of the scene. Like, I think I had 8 or 9 pro debuts fall through.
Yeah.
Like, in a calendar year.
Yeah.
Oh,
so like,
my.
I'm always in camp.
Yeah.
And then at the time too, at Power, man, they had so many guys like trying to get to a title fight, or like, you know, in the UFC or like Bellator, like they had so many good guys,
Mm.
and I was just like starting off.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get like a ton of it. Like I was on the pro team and I trained with those guys, and I got a ton of knowledge from them, and I love those guys, and I still associate with some of them to this day. But I didn't get like a ton of attention, like,
Yeah.
specifically for me.
Yeah.
Not like I got like under Paul. Like,
Right.
He was like, I'm going to put everything I have in this kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think I needed at the time.
Yeah.
I just needed more attention. But
I think any fighter needs that.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think any fighter that's worth anything needs that.
I really felt on my own
Yeah.
with like my decisions and then
Yeah.
like what I wanted to do, which, hey, I started training there when I was 21.
Yeah.
I had my first amateur fight when I was 22. Like, I'm a grown ass man. I should be
Is
able
that
to make my own
young
decisions,
for
but,
people who start MMA?
Not anymore.
Now, at
Yeah.
the time, yes.
Yeah.
Now, no.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the time, this is 11 years ago, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think Aaron Simpson started his pro career at like 33, 34.
Yeah, because he had a really good pro wrestling
Yeah.
career that
Yeah.
went for a while.
Yeah.
Like WWE.
You know, Paul made me get my blue belt before he let me do MMA.
That's a smart move.
Yeah, and I didn't understand it because I was like, dude, I know how to wrestle. Like, I'm a
Right.
pretty good wrestler.
Yeah.
I can do it. But man, when I went into jiu-jitsu, like with like a good blue belt, like I won the pans at white belt. I was ready.
Yeah.
Like I got into blue belt and was winning IBJJFs like my first tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
But going into MMA like with a good jiu-jitsu foundation was huge because I was just smoking dudes that I was training.
And that's
with
kind of
just-
before people like saw the value of being a well-rounded, like people kind of focused a lot like on like one thing at
Well,
the time, right?
Yeah, I think at the time it was like wrestling and ground and pound was
Yeah.
like the big thing in MMA, and jiu-jitsu. Like obviously you need a good jiu-jitsu background, but they didn't. I don't know that they were so sophisticated that they were like, okay, you got to have the big four, right? Jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, boxing.
I mean, there's not an
wrestling.
MMA fighter right now that doesn't train jiu-jitsu, right? I
Right.
mean, they're all in that for the
Yeah.
most part, at least a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is this is a whole different world, right?
Yeah.
MMA back then.
yeah, and I've never stepped in the ring, so I don't know shit. So you tell me, like, what was it about being a blue belt in jiu-jitsu that gave you that added edge when you went into an MMA fight?
I just knew more than most people.
Yeah.
Just with the blue belt.
Yeah.
You know? And then I'm, lucky to be brought up in a good MMA family.
Yeah.
You know, at the time it was like Gustavo and Paul was under Gustavo, and then everyone else that surrounded that, in the state, that was the most knowledge you were going to get jiu-jitsu, period.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Coming from G's.
Yeah.
So I was brought up in that. And like, even though I trained at Paul's, those guys were always over.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was always over there.
Yep.
I train over there once a week or so.
Yeah.
And then leading up to like Worlds and Pans, they'd bring me in for the camps and stuff. So like, I was just engulfed in like this really good, pure jiu-jitsu culture. And I just gained so much knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, super fast. And give a shout out right now to Josh. Like, I remember Josh.
Rodriguez.
Yeah. So like, I was a brand new white belt. Like, I don't even think I maybe had one competition under my belt. I remember Josh was like, all right, let me show you how to defend a berimbolo. I'm like, dude, what is a berimbolo?
How do you spell that?
Yeah, I'm like, what? And he's like, you're gonna run into it. You need to know this. I was like, what the fuck is he
God.
But Josh, like, I mean, Josh was my coach for a long time.
Yeah.
And at a high level, Josh has coached me as well.
Yeah.
But even when we were blue belts together, Josh was my coach.
Yeah.
He knew more than me. Like, we'd go to San Antonio for...
Well, Josh was like the jiu-jitsu nerd, right?
He is a nerd, dude,
Yeah.
when it comes to it.
Josh
Yeah.
is one of the good jiu-jitsu minds.
Yeah.
He has a gift for it. And
Yeah.
he just, man, you'll be like, remember that choke that you showed me at the thing when we were blue belts? Like, oh, the one I learned in New Mexico? Yeah. You remember that choke? And he showed it to me. He's like, yeah, let me show you real quick. And he'll show it to you perfectly.
Yeah.
It's like, I would never remember that choke. But like, he just has like an encyclopedia of knowledge.
Yeah.
And like, dude, super gifted, man. I would give anything to be half the coach he is, dude. He's phenomenal what he does. But yeah, I learned a lot from Josh.
Yeah.
And even like, you know, like we were at the same level. We were both blue belts.
Yeah.
In the tournament, trying to get to the finals so that we can Rochambeau or fight each other for a trip to Abu Dhabi. And like, Josh is coaching me. Like, you know?
Wow. Yeah.
So,
yeah. And he's really that guy, man. Like even if he's in your division, he's probably pulling for you. You know what I mean? He's that guy. He's such a good dude.
I mean, he used to have like that jiu-jitsu stable at his house where just like it was like Orlando, Nate Hagberg, like out there just sleeping.
Well,
on
he
his
lived
couch.
across the street.
Right. Yeah.
we had fucking Sodre living on our floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember coming home from work and like Henan Barrows on my kitchen table. Jai's over there at the time.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
it's just like all these UFC fighters and like, jiu-jitsu legends just like, what's up, guys?
Just hanging out. Yeah.
Nerding
hanging
out,
out. Yeah. I remember I went over to Josh's place or your guys' place, and Josh is like, yeah, the only rule I have is you can't have like sweaty pants on my couch. I'm like, that's a good rule because everybody just walks right over and they're still wearing their gear, but he wouldn't let them sit on the.
Dude, that apartment across the street, man. Oh my god.
Orlando lived in the like the dining room. They just had like
they put a curtain up,
partition.
put a
Curtain up. Yeah.
I remember just going over there after training. And there's like extracurriculars going on that I take part of, but I remember they just like Orlando would put on Brazilian rap. And we would just sit there for like 2 hours, just hanging out, listening to Brazilian rap.
Just chilling. Yeah.
That was, man, those were the days.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, there's a YouTube video out of our Worlds Camp in 2017 or 18. And if you just watch it and see the names in there, it's like Tommy Lockengager, Espen.
Yeah.
Orlando, Marcio.
Yeah.
Me. Thomas Keenan.
Espen just won the Dublin Open.
He's a piece of crap, but he's very good at jiu-jitsu at the time.
Yeah.
Josh, man, Sodre, like really prominent jiu-jitsu names. And it was just Flo was over there filming us and we were all getting ready for Worlds. And like,
Wow.
You think back on that, like, I don't know if I'll ever have another like experience like that. Jiu-jitsu where it's like all of these world-class guys together.
Yeah.
Getting ready for the same thing and just killing each other.
Yeah.
And like what a blessing that was to be brought up in that, like, man, those few years with those guys in those camps, they brought Fei Zhao out. I don't know if you guys have ever met Fei Zhao, but man, what a great coach he is. Like didn't know any English, but like I learned so much from him, but we didn't have a conversation. If that makes any sense.
It does. Yeah.
And like, I mean, he's coaching me at the Worlds and the quarterfinals and like, dude, it was just so cool. And like those strides that I made during that time in my jiu-jitsu, I mean, that's why I am good now.
Yeah.
Because I was surrounded by those people.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
Yeah. That doesn't go away either, man. I actually learned when I was in the military, I learned like, I learned to enjoy the moments because I'm not great at it, but like when you're in it, you don't really recognize how special that time is.
Yeah.
Until, you get to reflect on it. But like we used to go on these, 4-month deployments, 5-month deployments, and we'd come back into port and like 30% of the ship's company would transfer. I mean, that's a big chunk of people, and all of a sudden your friends were leaving. And you're like, fuck, man. Like we went to Norway, we went to Scotland, we went to all these places together, and you don't reflect on it until years later. But once that moment's gone, it's gone. So you got to really appreciate it.
You guys are bumming me out here, man.
No.
I remember because I just remember like when it was just like when we were training for pans or whatever, it's like
Yeah.
everyone would just fucking come to class and train their ass
Asses
off.
off, yeah.
And now it's like pulling fucking teeth.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
weird.
know
It's a whole different.
I don't know what happened, dude.
Yeah.
Nava and I had the same conversation. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's different now.
I used to love that.
You know what I think it was? I think it's just when you get a certain group of personalities together, it's hard to recreate it.
It is.
And,
Yeah.
when you have it, it's special and you enjoy it, right? Because like at that time, me and Brandon Walker and Daniel and Jose Buffonda,
Yeah, boof.
we were
Remember Little John Gory?
Little John Gory. I poached John Gory over to Paul's because we come from the same wrestling program.
Now he's a grown ass man.
Well, he's been a grown man since he was 17, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember this dude.
You remember him at Vegas when
I remember when his mom was in Vegas and we were like, we're gonna take him with us, and she was like, no, you're not.
I remember when he was 19 and Gary gave him $1 and just to play a slot machine, and he fucking puts $1 in the slot machine and it just starts fucking spitting out coins, and he's like, did I win? And it just fucking goes and goes and goes. And I mean, that we were all sitting next to him. That was back when like Scoop used to hang out with us. You remember that?
Yeah.
And we're all sitting there. We're like, get up. Because he was like 19, right?
Yeah.
Like if someone would have came over, he would have gotten, maybe he would have gotten in trouble. They
They probably just kick him out.
yeah. But we were, he won $100 off of $1.
Awesome.
We've been doing it for a while by the time you guys started,
Yeah.
but we were all blue belts together,
Mhm.
and like our goal was to win the world.
Yeah.
And we all had the same goal, and we were young and we were obnoxious, and we didn't care about anything else.
Yeah.
If we had a job, it was just to fund jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then as soon as the job got out, we ran to jiu-jitsu. Like,
Yeah.
that was just, it was just figuring out how to get to every tournament and how to have enough money
Mhm.
and how to just navigate this whole thing. But I mean, everything we had, we put into it. I remember after one of the local tournaments, we were at Bogies. I was like hanging out with some.
It's still there.
Is it still there?
It's still there.
We should go right after this.
We were like hanging out with some chicks, Boof and them, and
Boof.
and dude, it was like we had to explain to these girls like what jiu-jitsu was and like how much we loved it.
Mm.
And like,
What's wrong with your ears?
They couldn't, no, like they couldn't explain it, so I had to like we love this thing so much. We don't get any money from it.
Yeah.
But we like put everything we have into it, and like it goes before everything else in our lives.
Yeah.
Wow.
All we care about is getting better at it and winning things. Like this is the only thing we care about. And like I was like, do you have anything like that in your life at all? And they're like, no.
Wow.
Yeah. It's fucking wild.
Well, you know what? I'm blessed that I
Yeah.
have something that I care about so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely like something that's weird. Like you know, well, you probably have it at the firehouse a little bit, and I'm sure you had it when you were working at AC. It's like
Mhm.
kind of explain it to some guys, and you're like, oh, how much time do I want to spend explaining this to somebody?
It's
Yeah.
one of those
Just
things
like-
where I think it's just some people will never understand.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's my own thing. You
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
But man, it's been a fun run for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're in the thick of it though. That's really cool, man. So I one thing that I've noticed in your let's call it your jiu-jitsu career, because you're a firefighter, you have that career as well. I'm noticing that you're focusing more on the pro level fights. I don't know how many IBJJF fights you're doing nowadays, but it seems like your focus is more, I don't want to say super fight, but more of the Emerald Cities and the stuff that you did this past weekend. What is it about those that's more attractive than say the tournament style fights?
Those pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You wanna make it
Yes.
simple?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
good.
There's just something about like a good production value and being streamed and my friends and family being able to watch and
Yeah.
keep up with it.
Yeah.
Rather than me like posting on my story like Matt Thor 1257. But
Yeah.
no, I mean I want to do the Nogi Worlds this year.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
cool.
I'm gonna
December, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go on a little streak this summer, probably trying to qualify for that because I need points now in the Nogi.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, I think my days of gi competition are behind me.
Yeah.
I like this Nogi scene.
Yeah.
He's scared of gi.
Do you think that's true for a lot of people at your level? They want to go more no-gi stuff?
I think it's to each their own, dude.
Uh-huh.
But there's a lot more going on in the Nogi scene.
Yep.
For shows
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's just getting in it, you know, and
Yeah.
like it's cool. So I did the Emerald City card.
Yep.
2 years ago, which was my
Was that
first
2 years
time.
ago?
It was 2 years ago. It was my first time
Wow.
competing. After
Yeah, his
my-
Instagram sucks, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's wrong with
No,
my Instagram?
I'm just saying.
Whoa, bro.
It's so far behind. It's so far behind. You got to post more. You're doing way more shit than you're telling us. That's all
I
I'm
know.
saying.
I mean,
That's
like, well, just backtrack here a little bit here. Aaron's underselling, like, oh, they pay more. Like, that kind of sounds a little bad, but it's like a lot of these organizations like actually care about the athletes. IBJJF is a cool organization. There's a lot of prestige that's involved with the IBJJF for those who are new to the jiu-jitsu scene.
Yeah.
But they don't really support the athletes as much as like a lot of these newer organizations are starting to focus on.
So
ADCC has like switched to this a lot.
Yes.
Like a lot of these other organizations that you're starting to see pop up being more popular.
dude, and like that, I literally on a whim reached out to the promoter. So I just got done getting back from surgery. I had that thoracic outlet surgery. I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to compete again.
Wow.
I thought my job, my career might have been over. It was all dependent on how my body reacted from it. I had a rib resection, had 4 blood clots in my arm.
I remember that.
Basically, it was a waiting game to see if the blood clots would come back. If the blood clots came back, I was on blood thinners the rest of my life. No jiu-jitsu, no firefighting.
At 30 years old,
would have been
yeah.
super fucking lame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank the Lord, my vein still operates the way that it does, and I had a fantastic surgeon
Yeah.
that handled my surgery.
How old were you when that happened?
I was 31.
Yeah. Jeez.
30. I might have been 30. 31 or 30. Anyways, I just got done with my PT. I just got back to training, and I just happened to see on a friend's story a thing for it, and I was like, you know what? That's and it was supposed to be in upstate New York, which was like where my mom was from.
Oh,
So I was
cool.
like, dude, I'm just gonna ask this guy, and then I'm gonna go see like where my mom's from.
Yeah.
You know. So I reached out to him, was like, hey, can I be on the card? And he was like, yeah, dude. I was like, cool. I don't care about anything.
This is Emerald City, right?
I said, I don't care about money. I don't care about flight. I just want an opportunity.
Yeah.
Because they were posting some pretty big names.
Okay.
And I said, I want those guys.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole reason I'm doing this, right?
Yep.
And I just came off that loss to John Combs at Fight to Win in Austin. That's when I had the blood clots.
Yeah.
I was pretty jacked up.
Yeah, your arm was like swollen. It was huge.
Yeah. I think I had surgery like a month after that. Anyways. So I reached out to the promoter, who like now to this day I'm really close with, and we get along. I was like, I don't care. Like, I'll get my own way out there. I want to get in there and get in the mix. Like,
Yep.
Who am I? You know, like I've been on the podium at Worlds.
Right. Yep.
I've done my thing. I've made a little bit of a name for myself, but like I'm a black belt now.
Yeah.
I need to go prove myself.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, dude, you're in. So I set that up on my own, and I just put it all together, hit up some sponsors, and I made my way out there. And this was like my first introduction into like this sub only no gi. So it was EBI rule set up. The guy who runs Emerald City, Sam, does a great job. He's a great guy, but the show went good. I beat a big name my first match. It was a big upset right off my first match in surgery. So that was like huge for me. Like it was like a monkey off my back.
Yeah.
And then I lost in the second round in overtime in EBI to another really seasoned competitor.
Was the first guy
But, like,
the Giant Slayer?
No. This is a year before that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A year and a half before that. Anyways, it was this guy Nick Ronan. He trains under Matt Serra.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good black belt. He's been around that scene for a long time. But it's just pretty cool. So that's where I was getting at with this in the first place.
Oops.
No, like that card I was on, it was Andrew Tackett, this guy Aaron Harris, who was on the card this weekend. So was Andrew Tackett.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think on the Combat Jiu-Jitsu card this weekend, there was like 6 or 7 of us from the Emerald City card.
Okay.
But I've been on other cards, and a lot of those guys have been on there too. So like, if there's a welterweight card around, a lot of us are just kind of getting recycled on these cards. But
that's
we're
cool.
like the guys in that scene that just get moved around. And
Yeah.
it's fun. And then you see guys, and you're like, hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of the events, they go really well. They're done really well. And it just ends up being like a cool trip, a cool experience.
Yeah.
And, I'd like to win more than I'm doing right now. It's been a little bit frustrating because I'll put on a good performance and end up losing at the end or whatever. But that was like my way to get my name out there.
Yeah.
And jump myself into this whole scene.
I love it. I love it.
Not that you'll ever admit it, but I mean, Aaron's a master's level athlete, like over 30 athlete training with a lot of these adult guys. Like,
Yep. Yeah.
a lot of people don't like, like no one wants to talk about that, but I mean, like that's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
There's a reason they split up those age groups.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I
see, he's not going to admit it.
I'm
No,
not gonna
he's not
admit
gonna
it, dude,
yeah.
because I've always been a late bloomer.
Sure.
Mhm.
So I feel like this is my time to bloom.
Attaboy.
And I
Yeah.
don't have a lot of time left,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
aware of that.
Yeah.
But and I'm gonna go out with a bang.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna give it all I have for the next, year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To do my thing. But it's been fun.
Yeah.
I've loved it. It's kind of sad seeing it come to an end. It's been a good long run.
Sure. Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's kind of sad seeing it come to an end, but my goal when I started doing all this jiu-jitsu stuff was to compete at the highest level.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I found myself there. And I'd love to have as much time as I could there, right?
Yeah.
But realistically, having a career, having a family,
Yeah.
potentially opening a business soon.
Oh, he brought it up.
I didn't bring it up.
I didn't say a word.
You,
I didn't say a word.
motherfucker.
We didn't.
Yeah.
You guys don't know what kind of business.
He's going to start opening a chain of McDonald's
That's
It
it.
could be
That's
landscaping.
it.
for all you know, dude.
Hey,
with your complexion.
no, you'd die. You would
I
die as a
got
landscaper.
I got sunburnt. I'm not lying, dude. From my hotel walking to the beach in Mexico, I got sunburned, dude. My shoulders were peeling.
The Mexican over here is like laughing in Spanish over here. Ja, 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 ja.
Weakling. Cha, cha.
But no,
I just
man,
got
it's been fun, and I've loved every second of it, the ups and downs, everything.
Yeah, man.
Aaron, do you want another?
Yeah, I would love another.
Yeah, I'll
one.
grab it.
So, I want to go into where you are currently because you're training with Tanquino and his crew
Yes.
in Tempe, Arizona, and let's talk about the Soul Fighters HQ.
Yes.
That's a bad looking ass gym, dude. I haven't been in there, but I
gotta-
can't wait to go check it
You
out.
got to come by, dude.
Yeah.
13,000 square feet.
Oh my gosh!
It's probably a good 6,000 square feet of just mats.
Wow.
It's a sea of mats, and they took a very long time to put up.
Were you part of that? Part putting it all
Yeah,
together?
I went over there a
so
couple
cool.
days I was in and out of there for probably 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, we were just talking about HQ,
Dude,
Which HQ?
man,
Soul Fighters.
Oh.
rule
never heard
and
of
I know you watch my stories.
Dude, that new location looks dope.
Yeah, dude.
it's beautiful, and I'm so happy for Tanquino too, just for him being the person he is, and the accolades
the rest
he
of
has to. Yeah, take that, dude.
Oh, this is a twist off.
Just to have that academy that's like fit for him, because he's just one of the legends. I mean, he's one of
Yeah.
the greatest competitors of all time.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he has this now because he deserves it, dude. He's that was something I sat on for a long time, was trying to figure out where I was going to go when I decided to leave Gustavo's.
Yeah, you and I talked about that.
Yeah, I mean, I was man, I think I spent a good 2 or 3 months just like hopping around training at friends' places.
Yeah.
I'd train at Gerson's, or I think I came over to your place.
Yeah.
I trained with Paul. I would just link up with like a lot of my black belt friends, which I still do to this day. I'm kind of a gypsy.
Yeah.
But I sat on that for a while, and it was like, you know what? I don't know Tanquino, but like he's really good at jiu-jitsu. Maybe
Yeah.
I should go see what he's
Mhm.
got going on.
Yeah, he's a current ADCC champion.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
I mean, there's been another ADCC since.
Yeah, ever since
But,
it's
I
been
mean, he
very
won
current.
the ADCC at 37 years old, 36 years old.
That's
He won the gi worlds, the biggest upset in jiu-jitsu history, beating Hoffa.
Yeah.
He's won it all, and he fought in the UFC.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was like, okay, well, I have aspirations to be like in the UFC, or I'm sorry, in the ADCC.
Mhm.
I should probably go learn from the guy who's done it, right?
Yeah.
So the first day I went over there, it was like the pro class that he does. So we have guys from MMA Lab. We have a lot of Aries black belts go over there.
Yeah.
And then Tim's guys, Tim Welch, his crew. It was good training. I was like, you know what? Like, this is where I belong.
Yeah.
These are the best rounds I'm going to find. And that's what I was doing for so long, was just trying to find the best rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drive to Peoria twice a week, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, one way, just to go get beat up and get better. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a little bit of like a cousin thing with like the area school? Because I mean, I know Q and Tanquino have like a lot of history.
They're tight.
They're boys.
Yeah.
Q comes over and trains at Tim's for the pro class here and there. A lot of those guys, you guys know all those guys.
Yeah.
All the top black belts they have.
And there's a lot of people that don't. So if you want to rattle them off, that would be cool.
Yeah. So you got like Italo's there, Danilo's there a lot. Caesar's there.
Kevin Carrasco.
Carrasco
Mateus.
pop in here and
Mateus.
there. Elizabeth Clay's brother.
Yeah.
David
is always
Clay.
David
there.
Clay.
He's actually he's under Tim for MMA. He
Okay.
just won his first
He just
fight.
beat the shit out of that guy.
Yeah.
That was a good fight.
He's a gangster, dude.
He
Yeah.
is tough.
I've
Dude.
been training with him quite a bit lately, and I like training with that kid.
He's tough, man.
Yeah.
I thought he was taking easy on me once, but he beat the shit out of me.
he's an ox.
Yeah.
He's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
man, even like Tim does such a good job running the comp class there, where it's like he manages so many different things. So like, I was getting ready for EBI. I'm getting ready for EBI rules. I'm getting ready for combat jiu-jitsu. So like Tim specifically during the whole training, and there's like 20 guys there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you and you come over here and get on Aaron's back and go with him.
Damn.
Spend time. And he's pulling people, and then he's like, running Chug too.
Yeah.
He's got his own way more important stuff going on.
Yeah.
And then he's rotating people in on him, and he's just kind of over here doing like this, moving parts, and he does such a good job at it. But yeah, man, there's a little bit of everything there for you, because even like if there's not high level black belts there,
Mhm.
which there usually is, if there's not, like the guys that he has in house that are like blues and purples are just tough.
I
Yeah.
bet.
They're
Yeah.
just MMA fighters. They're just tough, and you really have to put.
Well,
it
Sean's
on.
a purple belt, right? Like,
I think he's a brown.
did he get his brown? Okay. I mean,
And dude, I'll say it on here, and everyone can hear. He's got a disgusting guillotine.
Yeah.
It is gnarly, and his wrestling's been getting really good too.
yeah.
I've been training with him
He's got those long ass limbs.
on
Yeah.
Fridays and Mondays periodically,
Mhm.
and it's a lot of just me wrestling him against the wall. But if I don't watch my neck, like, he's taken it a couple times.
Wow.
Yeah, filthy guillotine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tim's there, and then Taquino's there, and they just kind of overlook it all and make sure it runs well. But yeah, just going there and being under those guys, I felt like this is where I was supposed to be.
Beautiful.
So
Yeah.
and I think leading up to like the ADCC trials coming up in November, it'll be really good too, because I think Tim's probably going to go at it again. A couple other guys are going to be going at it again.
Nice.
So I think we'll all be together, kind of getting ready for the same thing.
Do you have anybody there that's in your same weight class and age? I'm just saying, like, it would be. I don't want to.
Tim's close, isn't he?
Tim's
Like-
gonna be tough.
Tim's quite a bit bigger than me, but he's the same age as me,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
and
Yeah.
he's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
And it's
What weight
it's
class is
it's
Tim
a
in?
full on fight.
Yeah.
When me and Tim go,
Yeah.
and I need that.
Yeah.
I seek that out.
Yeah.
But like he goes hard.
Isn't
It's
it
good.
like refreshing to have somebody at that level that you can go hard with?
Yes.
And not have to worry about
Yeah.
ill feelings or shit.
Right.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
It'll be nice when Taquino gets back from his. He just had a surgery on his wrist.
Yeah.
It'd be nice when he gets back. He can start getting after it.
But he's like,
I go
Taquino's like
with,
45 or something like
He's
that.
tiny, yeah.
Yeah,
He like looks
145.
gigantic
Yeah.
when you see him on TV, but you stand next to him, he's like
he's
actually
all
really
legs,
short.
yeah.
yeah.
He walks around like 160. Dude.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's jacked. I mean, for sure.
I get good rounds with like Kyler Phillips, who's like a top 10 UFC 135er.
Wow.
Good rounds with him. He's a black belt. Those Aries guys. Italo gives me good rounds when he was here.
Yeah. I miss him.
Is he come back?
He's international man of mystery right now.
Yeah. He's living his best life right now.
Who is filming?
He's all in Italy driving Ferraris and shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
The camera.
Yeah. 3 angles. What the fuck is
I
happening?
know, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
I know he's coming back to the United States. I don't know if he is right now, but his plan is to come back. But I don't know if he's going to come back to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what was really cool about Italo's when he was leaving. We all went to the last class he was teaching, and he's kind of hard to read. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because of the language barrier, and he kind of But it was tearful, man. I
spent a lot of because I train at Paul's and he was teaching at Paul's. Like I spent a lot of time with Italo, and yeah, you're 100% correct. He's definitely a closed book for people who like just showed up and were like, oh hey, what's up, Italo's here.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it was. He opens up. He's just, you got to spend some time around him. He definitely doesn't like just spill it out to the
Yeah.
world.
No, he loved you guys. Like,
Yeah,
you know, he definitely does.
when he first came, it was definitely like a little bit of growing pains for a lot of people just because of the language barrier,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
But he got so much better at English. He got so much more comfortable being in front of like a class teaching.
Yeah.
It was really cool, and like you said, like he's a good role, man.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
good fucking role.
Yeah. I put 4 stripes on his English white belt. You know, it got better. It got better as he went
It
along.
got pretty good.
Yeah, he's a blue belt. Come on.
Yeah. Sorry, we interrupted you. Sorry.
Oh, and yeah. So I don't even remember where we were.
We were talking about training partners,
Dude,
Tanquinho coming back.
It's a great thing over there with those guys. You got the guys from the lab. You
Yeah.
have, NCAA finalists over there,
Hmm.
All Americans over there. It's just like, man, I want to work on my wrestling. Well, I got some good guys to go with.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I want to work on my leg game. Well, I got some other guys to go with.
So the Peoria location is not the headquarters, right? The headquarters one is the one in Tempe, right?
The Peoria location is Tim's,
Okay.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
and he's got his own little network in there, and his students have little businesses in there. It's very cool if you guys can ever make it out there.
Yeah.
One of his students runs like a recovery place with a sauna and cold
Oh,
plunge out
okay.
of there. Another student runs a meal prep place. So
Oh,
shout
nice.
out to the Recharge Center. Those cheesy burritos smack, and I get them every time. But yeah, there's a good.
What, you
little,
write that down?
It's a good little thing over there, man, and they're really doing good things. So yeah, Tim's doing a great job, and
Hmm.
I like being a part of it, even though it's just a little bit going in there and getting rounds in. But
Yeah.
I like the network, I like the people, and when I open up my own academy,
Someday.
Yeah.
that will be those will be the people that I will be associated with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about what sets Tanquinho apart from other coaches that you've had. What makes him so special?
Well, I've had some interesting coaches.
Yeah.
He is.
Tell us why he's better than Paul. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Don't.
I love you,
That
Paul.
went out my nose. Oh my god! Don't fucking do that. That went out my nose.
I'm just reading between the lines.
So Paul's very sensitive.
We're starting shit. Paul, we
Well,
all love
no,
you.
I
here.
didn't say compare him to anybody. I just asked what makes him special.
And I'm drinking a hazy right now.
That's right.
And
That's
honestly,
right.
I
In
wouldn't
Paul's
be-
honor.
I wouldn't be into these beers if it wasn't for Paul.
That's right.
I mean, I don't think any of us would be where we are without Paul. So
100%.
Exactly. And
obviously, I'm just talking shit for fun, but
Yeah.
he's like one of my favorite people of all time,
yeah.
and I love him. But if we're gonna get back on Tanquinho, he is a very humble individual, and for all of his accolades, it's pretty impressive that he's that humble.
Yeah.
But he just breaks things down super simple, and it's just really easy to understand. And it's like, okay, you want to do that? Then do it. Like, there's not like a lot of like fluff. It's just like, okay, go get it done type of thing,
Yeah.
And I like that. And I can sit and have a conversation with him, and we can have a good back and forth, and it doesn't feel like he doesn't make it seem like he's like here and I'm here. It
Yeah.
makes it seem like we're even,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I teach over there at his school about 2-3 times a week, and I enjoy that, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. Helping me get better as an instructor, and
Yeah.
it's helping my jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Just the attention to detail. But
Yeah, Aaron taught at Paul's this week while Paul was on vacation, and I think a lot of people who didn't show up kind of missed out. I think Aaron. I think a lot of people think Aaron's kind of unapproachable. I think he gets.
why would you think that?
They get that Angry Bird? Remember Angry Bird?
Yeah.
That used to be his thing.
Yeah. People started finding out that I was nice, and I had to get angry again.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he's actually soft. What?
Yeah.
No, but seriously, Dan Ensing, one of our friends that we hang out with a lot, yesterday, maybe the day before, we had just like was talking about how when you were teaching this weekend, how he approached you and was like asking you something. He was like, I used to think that like Aaron was kind of like unapproachable and like kind of like mean, and he's like, he was actually like really cool and easy to talk to.
I guess it just depends on the day.
Don't let Aaron fool you. He's a softie.
He's a
Yeah.
softie.
He's 100% softie.
Yeah, don't let the black eye scare you away.
Yeah.
Just talk to him.
That was from an illegal strike.
Aaron's,
But, like,
Aaron's
Paul-
a crier.
But like Alex and I have like known Aaron for as long as we've done jiu-jitsu, and it's like a lot of people. I think you do get a lot of that. Like he's not approachable. He looks kind of like an asshole.
I kind of like I've always liked playing that role. Like when I went to Mexico and my
Ask him a question if you're training
Yeah.
with him. He will answer your question.
100%.
no, and that's the thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like playing the heel.
Yeah.
Like when I go to Mexico in my Homelander uniform, I'm going against a Mexican.
You're Homelander.
And I'm going against
Totally.
Well, the crowd was just like, they already chose who they want.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Cool. You guys don't like me? I like that even more.
Yeah.
You're Homelander. Totally.
I've always kind of liked being the villain, like as long as I can remember when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was like, I love Darth Maul.
Yeah.
I just like being the villain. Like I want to be the bad guy.
How dare you?
That's
We
hilarious.
won't get into Star Wars, but
I don't want to get into that.
You're bringing
I don't want
the nerd
everybody.
out.
I don't want people to know that I'm a nerd.
but I mean, I thought that was like a lot of people. Like I know a lot of people think that way about you. Like they're just like, he's kind of like a little intimidating, and you're like, Aaron, what are you talking about?
I know, dude. Listen, I know 100%.
Because I've known you since I started jiu-jitsu, and I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess when I first started, I was like, yeah, who the fuck?
I've never thought of Aaron that way.
Well, it's because you're so not self-aware that you're just. Like,
I'm
fuck
very
it.
not self-aware. Yeah.
Dude, if I had $1 for every time I had somebody be like, man, when I first met you, God, I thought you were a dick. Now that I know you, you're like a really cool dude.
Yeah.
You're like my dog, my Hazel.
Yeah.
Because like Kelsey and I always joke about like if Hazel was out in the desert and there was like a fucking like wolf or the coyote or something, she would walk up, she'd be like, "Hey, let's be friends," and then she'd just fucking get murked.
Oh, Aaron's here, and he's like, this motherfucker.
Well, I mean, we hit it off right away.
Yeah.
We were just cool.
Yeah.
And I think the same with you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you appreciate as much as like any of us is like you can tell like the people who like stick around. Because there's definitely like you'll run into people who are like, "Oh, hey, Aaron, what's up?" And you're like, "Oh, you're gonna be gone in a week."
And I think that might be a lot of it too. Is
You
like
know?
it's just like, okay, kind of prove yourself before I get
Yeah, there's so much of that in jiu-jitsu or any of these, like anything that's tough, right? There's a lot of people who like join it and they're like, "This is fucking cool." I'm gonna tell all my friends I do this hard thing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people too that get into it and are kind of have a big head right off the bat. And it's like,
Yeah,
well, you need to get put in your place a little bit.
Yeah.
You need to know where you're at.
Yeah.
You're nothing.
that's the true
And
test.
maybe
right?
one day you'll be something, but right now, shut up and learn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
So
true test
there
is
might
like
be
if
some of
you
that, too.
get put in your place and you still fucking come back the next day.
Yeah.
Right, because we've all fucking lost hard, right?
Yeah.
And if you're the guy who's like, "Oh, I lost heart, fuck this sport, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go fucking do
Every move.
pickleball like Matt Mamlin."
Oh,
Yeah.
don't listen. That's my
Matt, this is my show, and I love you.
That's my boy Matty Ice. but
That's Matty
he
Ice.
He needs to get back to at least Nogi. Okay.
Bro, he's playing pickleball.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Oh, I saw him the other day. I
Does
was
he
like,
have his own
golf
racket?
and pickleball? Matt, you are white.
Dude, he needs a sweater.
His wife is into horses. I'm like, geez, you are a rich white couple.
In her defense, she was into horses when they first met. So it's not like a recent pickleball. That's more recent.
Hey,
I'll
and
be
this is
honest,
directed
dude.
towards that guy who commented on your post. He's like, "Oh, rich guy, blah blah blah." It's like, we don't have horses and we don't play pickleball.
Hang on.
Here.
Episode 50 is when we're gonna attack him. We're not gonna attack him before episode
Oh, sorry,
50.
my bad,
Yeah.
my bad, my bad.
Me and Matt have had some fucking phenomenal times together. I love
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah,
Me too.
I love Matt too.
He's
I'm
one of
just
my favorite
obviously
people.
joking.
He's a great guy. I remember we were in Vegas after one of the Vegas
We were
Opens.
blue belts together, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the double barrel bar when we went?
When we snuck Orlando in.
Yeah,
he
sort
was
of. And then
First of all, we didn't sneak shit in. He just jumped over the fence,
oh, like I wasn't sitting there like.
and immediately was like talking to the fucking bouncer.
Bouncer.
They didn't care.
I'm like grabbing him. I'm like, you don't want to talk to that guy. I know he's nice. I know he's
Oh
nice.
god, I missed the
Dude,
Vegas
yeah.
Open.
I was a purple belt at that event. That's probably 2014.
Yep. 14 or 15, somewhere.
Gerson
in there.
was part of the crew.
Yes, that was the first time
I drove Gerson
traveled
up
with
that
us.
weekend, and we were like at the gas station. He starts fucking washing my windows.
We were caravanning
Yes,
that
I'm like,
time.
what are you doing?
Yeah, he starts washing windows.
Oh God, who doesn't love Gerson?
Oh my gosh. But yeah, we were at the double barrel bar.
I'm going to be honest with you, dude, and I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
I don't know. Like, and we were in GD at that time, right?
We were Nova Now. Yeah.
Okay, so I was at Gustavo's during that time.
Yep.
Yeah, that's when I first moved to G's. But
Yep.
we're all family, right?
Of course, yeah.
I don't know. Do you remember when Paul wouldn't let me hang out with you guys because I switched schools?
No.
He said I couldn't come to the bar after the tournament. And I was like,
No.
well, guess what? I showed up anyway.
I still have a picture somewhere of Aaron Wilson dead asleep after we left Dick's Last Resort when we closed the place out.
Aaron?
I always fall asleep.
Aaron?
Asleep. He wasn't even drinking. I don't think he drank at the time.
Oh, dude, Josh actually likes to tell that story. I was completely inebriated, and I had two people holding me up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to share this.
No, we actually had to go back for Aaron because I was like, I think Aaron's asleep at the bar. And they're like, no, I think he's, no, he must have left earlier. No.
Let me fill in the people who don't fucking know. Dick's Last Resort was this bar that we would always
Our
end up.
third stop.
It would be like the last place. We'd always first place was always like the Burger Bar.
Yeah.
In between the Luxor and Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
But we'd always end up at Dick's Last Resort, no matter where the fuck we ended up.
And it wasn't anything good.
No, it was a shitty bar.
I don't know
Shitty bar.
Shitty bar.
Yeah.
We shut that
What was that,
thing
Excalibur?
down.
Every time.
It's
Yeah.
Excalibur, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember one year, Paul was fucking like blackout drunk. Like he was like hanging on me. And he's like, I have to piss. And I found you. And I'm like, and at the time, that's when I was a true 154. I was a true featherweight. And I'm like sitting here like 150. And Paul, being like, what, 190 at the time,
Yeah.
hanging on me, fucking drunk, dead weight. I find
Oh my
Aaron, I'm like,
God.
he's yours.
Dude, I don't know if any jiu-jitsu group, academy, affiliation got down the way
No,
that we got
no.
down.
Everyone wanted to hang out with us.
No fucking way. Yeah.
We had fun.
We had everyone.
Yeah.
If anyone was out at a tournament from Arizona, they're with us.
They were hanging out with us.
And they were having the time of their life.
Yeah.
And dude, and that's Nava.
Yeah.
Nava.
It really was.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we would train hard, play hard, and then let's go have fun.
Nava is the easiest person in the world to assassinate. I know exactly. I know exactly where he's gonna be.
Dude, he sent me videos on Snapchat because the memories pop up.
Yeah.
Of Pan Am's, either 15 or 16. I think I was a purple belt. But it was me. It was Ryan. It was
Ryan O'Neal.
Ryan O'Neal.
Oh,
it was,
shit.
Oh my
It was Jonathan Van
Shit,
Buren.
Yeah.
I think you were there.
San Jose. Had to
You
be
were
San
there.
Jose.
No, it was Irvine.
Oh, Irvine. Okay.
But we had
Yeah.
the Airbnb.
Oh, that's right.
And
Yeah.
I'm at this brewery and I'm just passed out, sleeping. And dude, I think every 6 months I get a video from Paul and it's just me drunk sleeping.
That was. Gosh, what's the name of that place? It's a chain.
It's the whale or with the whale on it or something.
Oh no, I can't remember the place.
In Irvine?
Yeah, I remember we went there because okay, so here's what happened. We checked into this shitty freaking hotel,
Those are the best. First of all.
and
How dare
I
you.
had a rental car, so we all piled in the rental car, went to this place, and we're bar hopping, and I woke up at the hotel, like, right? I look outside, or I'm sorry, I woke up at the Airbnb. I look outside, okay, no car. So I'm like, okay, well, we probably left it over at the parking garage. So me and I think Van Buren was with us. I can't remember. Anyway, so we end up going back to the place, and I take a cab back to get the car, and I can't remember who I'm with, but I slam the door to the cab and I'm like, I don't have the fucking keys. That was a rough weekend. That was a rough weekend. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But there were so many of those.
Yeah.
I mean, Vegas, Irvine, San Jose.
And even after I left Navas and went to Gustavo's, I was always with him
Yeah.
Mhm.
at all the tournaments. Like it was like I just hear him.
Dude, he loves
I
you,
would
man.
just hear him yelling at me,
That
coaching
era-
me. Like Nava's coaching me.
I'm not gonna lie, that era bummed me out
The what?
when like you and
Daniel.
Daniel,
Daniel,
yeah,
the
Daniel left.
copycat.
He definitely
And
copycatted
and
you.
He can know that. I'm talking to him.
Yeah.
Daniel, you fucking copycat bitch.
You got to understand. At the time, I got a new job,
Yeah.
and I needed to train in the mornings.
Oh, I see.
And at the time, Paul's 10 a.m. was like
Yeah.
non-existent.
Yeah. Hit
or miss,
2-3
yeah.
people. Like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
trying to win the.
You would have waited
worlds.
a year, and like Cabey's 10 a.m. at Paul's was fucking like
was really good.
fire.
Yeah.
Well, this is way before.
Yeah.
that.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, dude, no, I need to go to Gustavo's and train with the, like, regardless of that, like, that was what was best for me.
Yeah.
And Paul knew that.
Yeah.
And that's why he eventually came around. Like, he always wanted the best for me.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely.
From when I started, and like, I wouldn't know what jujitsu is, like this world of jujitsu that I've gotten involved in for the past 13 years, if it wasn't for him, because he showed me it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
put everything he had into me for 3 years, three and a
Yeah.
half years, from white to purple.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I owe everything in jiu-jitsu that I have to him, because it wouldn't be without him.
Yeah, a lot of people don't fucking realize like how influential Paul was like in a lot of our lives.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like would there even be an Aries East Mesa? Like
Paul,
There would not.
Yeah.
There would
Paul
not be
has
an Aries
done
East
so
Mesa.
much for me, just like
I just mean Phoenix Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
I mean you, Alex, me.
I mean,
like,
he's just done so much for me, just like out of jiu-jitsu too.
Yeah.
Like, he's been. I always call him like my drunk uncle, but
that's
he's
fair.
been like a second father to me.
Yeah.
And
And I've seen
I
that.
can't
yeah.
repay him back. For
No,
everything he's
he
done for
loves you,
me.
dude.
Yeah, and I love him too, and
yeah.
he knows. Like,
Yeah.
call him when I leave here.
Yeah. But I think we all love Paul, like for like the flaws and all the other shit. We're like, but Paul, like you said, drunk uncle, whatever,
Yeah.
dad. Like we all love Paul.
And when I opened my academy, there were some, we had a falling out,
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, we had a little falling out.
It's always hard though.
It's
because
hard.
It happens.
Yeah.
And I've seen it happen.
Well, change is
not,
hard,
not
right?
just with you guys, but when I
Yeah.
trained at Gustavo's, I saw that happen as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a
the change is weird,
situation.
right?
Well, it's just one of those things where it's inevitable that there's going to be some tension.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't avoid it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's going to be there.
Yeah.
It's like some guys are just going to prefer to go train with you. And some
Yeah.
guys are never going to leave Paul.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's fine. It's
Yeah.
it's a free market. Go train and spend your money where you want to spend it, but it's like
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
feelings.
There,
I don't know that because I haven't been an instructor or a gym owner.
Yeah.
But I would think that if you put a lot of time into somebody and they spend a lot of time at your school, it probably hurts when they leave.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Well, think about it this way. Like if you were a instructor at my school and you build this culture, and we built this culture around you, right?
Mhm.
You're a 7 p.m., you're a prime time instructor.
Right.
And then you open your own academy and you leave.
Yeah.
You take, obviously, right? People are going to follow you.
You're going to take a chunk.
Yeah.
There's going to be some hard feelings. Not only hard feelings, but now we have to rebuild that culture.
Yeah.
Right? There's a big gap. And he had to go through that several times. And with me, it was like one of those things. I mean, I was a morning guy and, the morning guys. And anyway, but I remember I was sitting at home. Ah, man, we had barely broken ground. Like we had barely opened. And I was sitting
At
at
that
home.
small
small
your
location.
guys' is wind tunnel. Like it
Yeah.
was like tiny. Yeah.
And I remember I was sitting at home and I'm like, I can't lose this guy. Like I can't lose this relationship.
Yeah.
And I remember Leslie comes in at, whatever hour in the morning and, Paul's there with her and they clean the academy.
Yeah.
So I literally went over there and he didn't want to see me. I went over there, I barged in and I sat in front of him in his office until we started talking.
Good.
Because I didn't want to lose him.
Yeah.
I can't lose that guy.
Yeah.
Like he's my guy. He's my guy no matter what. Like one of my proudest moments was, I have my own academy. My students are there to support me at Fight to Win. And I'm in the same card with my instructor, Paul Nava, and I have his patch on my gi.
Yeah.
And I showed him, I said, you're my guy no matter what. And he's like, you're mine no matter what, man. And that meant the world to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we almost lost each other. You know what I mean? That would have been devastating to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough too. Cause like, I mean, Paul's been around for so long that he's had so many comers and goers. Right. Right. And I'm sure there's a point where you're just like, fuck this. But then like to have someone who's just like you two, right. Both like, are like, yes, I've moved on to other things, but you come back and you're like, you're still my number one dude. Like you're still my dude. And I think for Paul, like it's just like he and especially like recently I've noticed that he's like taking that more in stride and he's like realizing that like, yeah, dude, that's just like the evolution of jiu-jitsu. It's like everyone's gonna like go do their own thing, but like they know where they come from.
Yeah.
It's happened everywhere I've been at.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's the same song and dance. It's everywhere. And it's just inevitable because, that's what you want your guys to have.
Yeah.
The opportunity to have their own place and have success. And, man, we put a lot of time into the sport.
Yeah.
I know I have since I was 20 years old. This has been my main thing.
Yeah.
No matter what I'm doing. And I've stepped away for short periods of time to focus on other things, but I think at some point it's it's time to get some financial compensation for all the time you've put into this.
100%.
sport.
Oh
So,
yeah, and
100%.
I like.
Yeah.
I don't blame anybody who's like switching to like the ADCC or like the Emerald City or any of the organizations that are actually like paying the athletes.
but I don't want it to seem like that because I don't care about the money.
No,
Mm.
yeah,
I care about jiu-jitsu.
but it's more about like the respect for the athletes.
It
Yeah.
is 100%, and I appreciate that part. But
That's one thing I like about Eddie Bravo.
yes, I just want to have a seat at that table.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just want to be amongst those guys, and I want to beat those guys.
Yeah,
I want to be at the highest level, and I want to have success. So,
yeah.
man, if I can rock it out for the next couple of years and
Yeah.
beat some guys, that'd be
But
great.
it's
You
so
got all
ea-
the tools, man.
It's so easy
Got
to
all
have
the
an
tools.
organization where you just take advantage of athletes. I'm not going to say that the IBJJF does that, but they kind of do.
They've been doing that for decades.
Yeah, but
Well-
it's like
Dude, I mean, and I talked about this on a podcast I was on like 2 weeks ago, but it's like,
How dare you?
I'll talk about it again.
she's sharing same info. Oh, we're just getting recycled information.
Let's do it.
Am I saying it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, no, it's like growing up in jiu-jitsu, traditionally
hmm
in the gi.
Mm,
I competed in the gi 12 times a year, once a month.
mm.
Maybe did no gi once a year for no gi worlds.
Yep.
Whatever. That's what jiu-jitsu was at the time,
Yep.
at least on the West Coast. Okay. But if I wanted to be good at jiu-jitsu, if I wanted to know that I was good at jiu-jitsu, where was I at? I was on the podium at Pans. I was on the podium at Worlds. That's what the goal was. That's how I knew I was good at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
That's how I knew I was among the best guys in my division, right? But anymore, with all these shows popping up and jiu-jitsu becoming more professional, although it's still very much an amateur sport,
Yeah.
but it's moving in that direction.
Yep.
I don't know what the like allure is for IBJJF when there's other opportunities to make for guys that have been through it and are at the black belt level. You can make money doing other things. You can be on bigger shows, better production value.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I think it's losing its
Allure?
I say that, and then I watched the Pans, and it was pretty phenomenal.
Well, I mean,
Right?
here's the thing.
It is.
Here's the thing about like Worlds and Pan, because Worlds and Pans are probably like the two biggest events you could do in IBJJF in the United States, right?
Right.
There's a lot of prestige when you say like I'm a IBJJF Worlds gold medalist or Pans gold medalist.
Oh, it's
100%.
It's insanely impressive.
It's
yeah.
very impressive.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reality is though, we're kind of like getting into a world where like that's cool. Like it's like winning the Olympics for whatever sport, but then like that's cool for like everyone else, but like the reality is like the other events are the ones that are like paying the athletes, taking care of the athletes, promoting the athletes,
Mm.
and like that's what.
Dude, I'd rather go to Cancun and be on UFC Fight Pass and have the time of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just being honest. Like,
Yeah.
that was one of the best weekends I've had in my life.
But we're gonna get to the point where like that prestige of like Pans and Worlds isn't gonna mean as much to people if they're not being supported financially, because like that's the reality is people want to make careers out of the sport that they love.
always rebuttal with like, "Well, we have the Grand Prix and they made like 40 grand." It's like, yeah, but that was like 6 dudes.
Yeah.
It's like-
yeah.
They need to get to a point where
And they're all their
they're
buddies.
paying the guys in the opens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you win it, you get this much.
I don't even think it has to be the opens. Like
No,
Pans and Worlds, two biggest tournaments of the year.
it should
Like,
be, it
And
should
you have
be,
to qualify.
it should be
Yeah.
you know how much money they make on those opens? It should be on the opens.
Yeah.
It's
If
ridiculous.
you're an adult black belt competing in the open, there should be some type of compensation.
100%. Yep.
Because if you look at for the people that sign up and everything else, I'm sure it's a sliver of what they
If we
Oh,
don't see,
100%,
if we
yeah.
don't see payouts for in the next 5 years for like Pans and Worlds, I would be very surprised because they are starting to lose ground to organizations
Well,
like
why do you
ADCC.
think they require adult black belt to have 15 points?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. They're working their way towards
You know how
that.
many world-class black belts don't do any IBJJF tournaments?
They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No gi at least.
Yeah.
And which I am now, so like the gi world's dead to me. I'm a no gi guy now.
Well,
but
Liz Clay said that.
Yeah.
there's, I mean, you know how many guys can podium at the no gi worlds that just can't do the tournament because they don't have 15 points?
Yeah.
I didn't get to do it last year because I didn't have enough points.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know until I went to sign up. I was like, well, this sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I have to go sign up.
Yeah.
Have sponsors pay for my tournament.
Yep. Do like
Have
Denver
sponsors,
and
have sponsors pay for my
Like,
flight.
I like
have
the
sponsors
qualifying
pay for my
thing.
hotel, and now I gotta like ask people for money to go compete to
Yeah.
get enough points to even get in the tournament.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, and it's kind of silly
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're paying to compete anyways, right?
And it's not cheap.
No,
It's not fucking
And, like,
cheap.
dude. I've been blessed. I've had a sponsor that takes care of all my entry fees since I was a white belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That's cool.
blessed.
Yeah.
But like for other people,
They
man,
don't.
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
and like I have a legit job.
Yeah.
I make good money, but like other black belts that are just like instructing or living off sponsorship money,
Mm-hmm.
Doing seminars.
doing
yeah.
whatever.
And
like,
another thing,
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
how
people,
they do it, dude. But like,
yeah. And
It's
another
tough,
thing, a lot of people don't
Hard life.
realize is like, so in the past 3 years since COVID, right? That's when PANS switched to Florida. It's always been in California.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like the hub of where like good jiu-jitsu is in the United States is
Right.
California. And we have big tournaments in California, Vegas, right? Now it's like they're kind of all over the place. So it's like it's not cheap to fly to Florida.
dude, COVID
Yeah.
did some weird shit to jiu-jitsu. Bro.
For real. For real.
It did,
Yeah.
man. Like coming out of COVID,
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just-
And it kind of like reminds you that like there's a lot of good jujitsu in the Northeast, in New York, you know, like that
dude,
area.
a lot
Yeah.
of these sub-only grapplers come from that area.
Yeah.
And I didn't know about them at all.
Because they can't
But then-
afford to fly to fucking like
But like
California.
Anaheim,
now
yeah.
I see them on these shows, and like these guys are super fucking good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. So it's like the more affordable is the wrong way, but like the more that there's an incentive for people to like spend their money to go compete at these big tournaments, the bigger jiu-jitsu is going to get, because you're going to see these guys who are like in places where like, yeah, it's just not in my pocketbook to like fly to California to show how good I am, or
Dude,
fly to Florida.
I'm
Yeah.
literally gonna have to go to like North Carolina, freaking Podunk, whatever.
Yeah.
To qualify for Nogi Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like probably staying in a crappy hotel in these weird cities just to like go get a medal and get enough points.
Yeah.
I'm not super stoked about it, but I want to do the Nogi Worlds at
Well,
black belt.
Go to Dallas, stay with my brother. Go to Houston, stay with my brother. I'm serious, man.
The same,
Like-
the same brother? Or?
no, different brother, different brothers. Go to Carolina.
He's
Go to-
Mexican. He's got like a brother in every
yeah,
town.
I
That's
mean,
what it is,
yeah,
huh?
it's a cultural thing. So go to South Carolina, stay with Justin Pohl. You know what I mean?
Oh,
we can make it
yeah.
work,
Yeah,
dude.
we can figure it out.
We can make it work.
I know. I need
Yeah.
to. I need to get after it. But then, man, they got these ADCC Opens popping up that I want to do too.
Which is paying real money.
Yeah, and I want to do Orange County in a month. They have one in Denver. They have one coming to Arizona in
Yep.
August.
They do have a
Yeah.
Phoenix one, yeah.
And I want to qualify for the ADCC. So it's like those are probably stuff I should be doing. And I guess somebody told me today, I don't know if it's gospel or not. I'm just repeating what I heard. But I trained today over at Jay Page's Open Mat. And somebody told me that how well you do at these opens is how you get seated at the actual trials.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Like it's all strategy, right? I think that if you're going to do the ADCC trials, I think you should sell out and just do ADCC.
Yeah.
That's the way it should, because you're playing within the same rule set. You don't have to practice for different shit,
Right.
right? You should just, I mean, you got to sell out.
It's so bizarre too, like just jumping back and forth from rule sets as a
Yeah.
black belt. Like,
Yeah.
all right, everything I have is combat jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And then like everything I have is EBI overtime. And then everything I
Yeah.
have is like ADCC rules. And
That's the
you're just
one
like,
thing I don't like about EBI.
wait a minute, what am I getting? You
Shit.
Yeah.
get confused. You're like, wait, my event this week is this. It's like a ton of stuff. But
Yeah.
man, I think this past weekend, what really derailed me was I game planned. I had a plan and I executed it for 8 minutes.
Mhm.
And I got too narrowed in on what I wanted to do
Yeah.
and what my plan was. And I mean, I got to a point where I think I passed his guard like 4 or 5 times.
Mhm.
And I'm sitting there and like, I can very easily go for a Kimura. And I'm very good at that submission.
Mm.
If I get your arm, you're probably not getting it back. But here I am trying to trap the wrist because I wanted to hit his ribs and break his ribs. And I'm like focused on that. No, I'm like hyper focused on that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to hit his ribs. He's going to get a verbal tap and I'm going to win.
Yeah.
But I got too focused on that and it didn't work.
Mm.
And I wasn't playing jiu-jitsu the way that I should be. It wasn't my jiu-jitsu. It was what I had planned for combat jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And it was like here.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see the rest.
Yeah.
So, and it's
It's
crazy when
pain,
you
right?
game plan and you execute the way that you want to, and then you still lose.
Yeah.
It sucks, dude.
Yeah.
You know, but at this level, everyone's tough, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone's tough, and you'll beat a guy, and then that guy will, you know, beat a guy that beat you, and it's just like the styles make the matchups type of thing. And
Yeah.
it's frustrating, and I wish I was better and I could just win all the time, but
But would that be fun?
yeah.
Fuck yeah, it would
a
be fun.
fucking great time.
If it was super fucking easy though, I mean,
No, I don't. It's not easy for those guys either. They put a lot of work into it, but it's like at some point, there's just got to be more results that come out of it, you know? And if there's not, then maybe it's time to hang it up type of thing, you know?
Sure. Or
No.
change something.
Or change something. But I think where I'm at now in Arizona Jiu-Jitsu, without moving to Austin,
Yeah.
which I'm 33 years old and I have a career
Yeah.
and a child and a beautiful girlfriend.
Is that
Where I'm at right now, where I live, I'm with the best people I can.
Yeah.
I need to get back with Issa and Nez and those guys more. Issa Abel and Adrian Nez. Adrian Nez is the best jiu-jitsu guy people have never heard about.
Where's
If you
Nez training
ever-
out of right now?
He teaches at Jose Munoz's school, 12th Street.
12th Street. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he goes by like Footlock Foodie or something like
No,
that.
I know him. I saw him.
Nez?
I saw him at
Yeah,
the
isn't that
ADC
him?
trials.
No.
No?
Dude, this kid's a monster.
Yeah.
He's a big guy, right? Like
He's one of the best sub-only guys. I mean, you guys know J-Rod from B Team.
Yeah.
He hit him with a flying backside 50-50 heel hook at the East Coast trials.
Damn.
It was one of the most badass things I've ever seen. But he's also beat really big names. He's phenomenal. He's the best leg lock guy in Arizona by far.
Yeah.
You won't find anyone better than him. But over the past few years, I've got an opportunity to train with him a lot. And he's really brought my game to the next level. We came up at Gustavo's together from like purple.
Okay.
And we got our black belts the same day.
Okay.
But he really is gifted in no-gi. And then Issa, you guys know Issa.
Yeah. Oh my
Issa's
God. He's a nightmare.
a monster, right?
Yeah.
I mean, probably the only guy in Arizona in the jiu-jitsu scene that will beat my ass in wrestling.
Wow.
And yeah, he's the one guy that like, and I seek that out, you know, like I went and trained with him last Sunday before my event. It's like, I need Issa rounds and I need Nez rounds. And I got to go find these guys and train with them right now because they make me better.
Yeah.
But I need to get with those guys a little more. We had a good thing going with a group of black belts. We were training together like twice a week. So guys, I think we need to revamp that and get back at it leading up to the trials. But
I've been trying to get Issa on the show. I think he's too shy.
dude, give him a couple of these. He'll be fine.
All right, let's do it.
He's such a good dude.
Issa likes craft beer.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take him to Arizona Wilderness. We'll get him lubed up, and then we'll bring him over here and get him on the show.
Fuck yeah,
Issa
man.
is
I
one-
love Issa, man.
Issa, when I started jiu-jitsu, Issa was a blue belt and he was winning everything. So like, I remember I won a tournament as a white belt and I was under Paul and Paul was like so stoked. He's like, man, Gustavo said like, you're the next Issa.
Oh shit!
And I
okay.
like took that as like the biggest compliment.
Yeah, man,
ever, you
yeah.
know? So I think Paul was stoked too. Like, this is my student and like, he's getting this type of praise. So
yeah.
I always looked up to Issa coming up in jiu-jitsu. And to this day, like I went with him last week and like he just gave me some stuff for like EBI overtime, just little things that he does. And it was like super simple, but like, man, I didn't think of it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't know it.
Yeah.
And then he showed me it and it's like, okay, well now I'm going to use that for the rest of my time I do jiu-jitsu. You know?
That's cool.
Yep.
So just surrounding yourself with the best people you can. You know?
Yeah.
And for those who are listening who don't know and have seen Issa, he's another guy like Aaron where you like look at him and you're like, he's kind of intimidating. But you go to talk to him, he will answer every question you have. He's
Issa's
super
been-
nice.
Issa
dude.
Abel is such a good freaking dude. Like,
Yeah.
I met
One
him.
love jujitsu.
One Love Jiu-Jitsu out of he's out of Phoenix, right?
Shay in the 51.
Yeah, she in the 51.
Ish.
I think so. Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
And I think he and I had like maybe 2 conversations and he was talking about coming over to his house and having Iranian food with his family. Like he's that guy.
Yeah, he's super nice dude.
I love the guy. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's his wife is super awesome. She's a tattoo artist.
Yep.
And their school's really awesome. Like you were saying, like he's just like he's a good coach.
He is really sandbagging Joey though. He's sandbagging Joey. I'm just saying.
First of all, Joey has an event coming up. I think we should put a plug in right now.
Let's do it.
Show,
Let's do it.
Butter Smooth Moves.
Okay.
It's a like sub only style tournament. I think there's 2 weight classes, like an 88 kilo and a 77 kilo. He runs that Butter Smooth Moves page. You guys know that, right? Butter Smooth Moves on Instagram. It's a pretty popular like page. Just post like highlights of cool shit.
All right.
Anyways, he runs that page. So now he has an event that he's doing. It's gonna kill me. I totally blanked the date. I think it's in May sometime.
Okay.
End of May, maybe the 21st. I don't know.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But anyways, like 2 divisions, and the winners of each division get like $1,500.
Okay.
So they're talking about it at Open Mat. And it was like a bunch of purples and blues, and I was like, you know what, dude? No one else signs up for it. I think I'm just gonna pop in there. They're just giving away $1,500.
Giving it away.
Yeah.
But I mean, Joe.
Well, we got to go to Carolina.
I know Joey's put a lot of time and effort into this. He told me about this probably over a year ago.
Okay.
And you know, Joey's a great dude.
He's a great guy, man.
Great
What's
dude.
Joey's last name?
I
I don't know his last name.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a second. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Joey at One Love. If you're listening, please post.
Yeah,
we love
Joey's
you.
great.
Yeah, we all know you, but don't know your last name apparently. Because
I've taken plenty of ass kickings from that kid.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. He's
Yeah.
a good dude.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about, let's kind of go back a little bit.
You don't want to go on tangents still?
I got a fucking tangent for you, bro.
I just want to talk about a little bit about the camps that you had at Gustavo's and the people that you trained with at the at Power MMA. I want people to understand the level that you were surrounded by, because let's go with Power MMA.
Okay.
So Aaron Simpsons is your MMA coach.
Yes.
Let's talk about the pro team at
Wrestling
the time.
coach at Paul's right now, by the way.
Yeah, wrestling coach at Paul's. But he was your MMA coach at Power MMA, and when they were off of what was it, Gilbert and
Guadalupe.
Tell me about the group that was in that on the pro team.
Yeah, so you had like a bunch of UFC regulars. So like Seth Baczynski.
Yep.
He was like always somebody that I really like valued a relationship with. He was always really cool to me.
Yeah.
He probably fought in the UFC a dozen times. He was right there at 170 for a while. Made a little run at the contention. Ryan Jimmo was there, who was a really cool personality. God rest his soul. He ended up passing away a few years back, but he was there. He was solid. Obviously, Ryan Bader was there, the Bellator champion right now.
Yeah.
One of the top guys. CB Dalloway was always right there at the top of the 185 division. You had Aaron Simpson there. We had the guys come from San Diego and make their way over. So you had like a Miles Jury that was there at the time. Jeremy Stevens was there at the time.
Wow.
You had Gray Maynard there for a bit. That was rough.
Yeah.
Gray Maynard would whoop my ass every day for a long time. And it made me better.
Yeah.
But I remember I would be sitting there like warming up, stretching out, like 3:30. Okay. He's not here. And I was a purple belt at the time.
Yeah.
And like I was a pretty good wrestler, and like I'd been around for a little bit. And I could hang with the pro guys, you know.
Yeah.
My weight, I would do well.
Yeah.
With everyone.
Yeah.
You know, even guys that were in UFC or both, where I could hold my own. But when Gray walked in there, dude, and he got a little seatbelt around me around the cage, I felt like he broke all my ribs. Like,
What was it? What was it about? Was he just like crazy strong?
I have said this before, like he was one of the strongest people. I would say he's the strongest person under 200 pounds that I ever trained with.
Wow.
Like he would just grab my wrist and I was like, well, it's yours. Darian Codwell was there. If you guys know who that is, he's the NCAA national champion. Yeah. He was the Bellator champion at like 145 for a long time. He's still in Bellator. He's still really relevant. Dude, there were so many guys in and out of there. Chris Weidman would come in every once in a while.
Wow.
This is when he was top, you know?
Yeah.
Kane pop in there, here and there. Dude, there was there was a lot of guys in and out of there.
Yeah.
I'm probably forgetting some right now, but yeah, there was some. Oh, Tim Means, the Dirty Bird.
Yeah.
He's a 170er in the UFC. He's been around for, he's been in the UFC for probably 12 years now.
Wow.
I remember they would just, the head coach at the time was from New Mexico, where those guys were. We had like a coach that would travel from New Mexico and coach us and then go back home. And he managed like 2 fight teams and they would like integrate with each other. But I remember like, I was probably like 21, 22, blue belt, decent wrestler. And they'd be like, all right, dude, your whole goal is to take down Tim for 5 rounds in the cage. And he had a phenomenal stand-up.
Wow.
I mean, world-class Muay Thai. And he was about 6'4" and fought at like 170.
Oh my gosh.
It's just rangy.
He's a fucking nightmare.
Well, his elbows were sharp as fuck, dude. So I'd just be in there like, you want me to do what? Like, yeah, dude. So like, just try to take him down and tap him out. I'm like, for how long? All right. And I just begin. And he just had the little gloves on. Just getting pieced up, dude.
Damn.
Bink, 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 eating all these punches. But I get a hold of them every once in a while and have my moment. But
Yeah.
I'd be leaving with like a cut here, black eye. Like I would get fucked up there.
Fuck that. But now let's jump over to the jiu-jitsu crowd that you were training with. This is purple brown belt.
And I'm managing both these crowds at the same time, mind you.
Yeah. So let's talk about that crowd because
So
I think it's important.
I go get my ass beat at MMA, and then it's like, you know what, dude, you should go train with all the best guys in the world in jiu-jitsu too.
I think what I'm trying to get across is like you're an amazing jiu-jitsu practitioner, player, whatever you want to call it, and there's a reason for that. You put yourself in very, very difficult situations to get to where you are. Training with Tonquinho and those guys, amazing. But you've been doing that since you started. You were on a state champion wrestling program, but let's talk about that jiu-jitsu crowd that you train with that got you to this point.
Yeah. So, coming up in jiu-jitsu at Gustavo's from when I moved over there.
And that's Gustavo Dantas out of Tempe, Arizona.
So like at the time, Gustavo's was the best.
Yeah.
Everyone knew that.
Yeah.
All the best competitors trained there. And if they didn't start there, they ended up there.
Yeah.
All the transplants he had there throughout the years, guys like Tyson, guys like Nez, Thomas was a transplant. I was a transplant. Josh was a transplant.
Wait, Tyson was a transplant?
Tyson was a Lotus Club, dude.
I didn't know that. Oh, shit. Okay.
But we all kind of made our way over there together, and it was like me, Tyson, Antillian, Josh Rodriguez, Thomas Keenan, Adrian Nez. There was a lot more.
Yeah.
And then for Worlds, we'd have Espen there. We'd have Tommy Lockengager there. Marcio would be there. Sodre would be there. Orlando was always, Orlando was one of the big guys we had.
Yeah.
Orlando was our best competitor at that time.
You think he was the best?
I think before Marcio got there, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Orlando was winning everything.
Mm-hmm.
Orlando beat Nicholas Marigali at the Abu Dhabi Pro.
Wow.
Who?
At Purple Belt. Marigali. Yeah, you know what I mean. Orlando is my roommate for a while. Me and Orlando are close.
Nicest dude ever, though.
Yeah, I don't talk to him a lot nowadays. We still kind of go back and forth, but like Orlando was huge in my jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
And we all had the same goal, and it was to win the Worlds.
Yeah.
We were all training together.
Yeah.
Year round, doing tournaments together. Like, I can't tell you how many tournaments me and Josh riding out together. Like, just, dude, how much money do you have? I got like $70. All right, I have like 80, so I guess we're just gonna have pizza tonight. Like we're just like these broke jiu-jitsu guys,
man.
but like we didn't care.
Yeah.
We were doing what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that was all that mattered. And then when you got us all together for these camps, forget about it, dude.
Yeah.
Like, we're all going crazy, training hard. And then Gustavo, who just is he's just an amazing coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did a good job like nurturing that group and then getting the best out of us.
Tell me something that he did that really like got you to that next level? What was it about his coaching that made you be like, yeah, I'm here, but now I'm like, boom, like I'm at that next level. Forget about training partners. Let's talk about just his coaching.
I think it's just a very sophisticated approach to jiu-jitsu. And I've taken that with me when I instruct now.
Yeah.
Where it is teaching one thing, it's teaching one system, and then applying it to other systems. And then, all right, guys, this is the move. But if this happens, this is what you do. And if this happens, this is what you do. So right now we're going to do 4 or 5 different situationals from all of these different positions. So by the time you're done doing that specific movement, you already know, if this happens, I know what to do. If this happens, I know what to do. And you have a good general understanding of like the move as a whole, not just how to do it, but how to manage it.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
Which isn't like flashy or like, here's a YouTube video.
No. He broke it down like, it was brilliant the way that he broke it down. And we did so many situationals because as like an athletic purple belt, how often am I going to get put in like a bad spot? Not that much.
No.
So what better than to put me in that spot so that when I go against somebody who's another athletic purple belt and I get in that spot, I know how to get out and I'm not surprised, right?
Yeah.
So it was a lot of situationals too.
Yeah.
Which I think personally is like should be done every day in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Tell me about Marcio Andre, because he was the head instructor there for a little while.
Yeah.
And when he came in, it was like a whirlwind. Like it was like the whole place was buzzing, like Marcio's teaching there in Arizona now.
Yeah.
And you were part of that initially, right?
I was a brown belt then.
Yeah. So tell me about that.
Me and Marcio would get after it in class. He would whoop my ass and I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
We go back and forth a lot. But he was another guy too. He has like a real passion for jiu-jitsu and he likes to push his guys to the max. So he'd be yelling at you during class, which is, not what Gustavo did. So I wasn't used to it. I was like, 26 years old, bro.
Grown ass man, dog.
Yeah, I'm a grown ass man.
Grown ass man. Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a different style. And man, I'll tell you what, my whole knee slicing game that I have is from him.
How so?
We went over it for a year. And like the same thing as Gustavo, it was like every little detail of how to do it. Just, I teach it still to this day. And like, that's all stuff I learned from Marcio. And it's super effective and it works really well.
Yeah.
But I feel so confident with my passing and I learned a lot of that from him.
Wow.
So yeah, I've had the opportunity to learn from some of the very best guys in jiu-jitsu.
No shit, man.
But that's the thing though, is like, and I tell people this, and there's people that avoid it like the plague, and it's like, well, don't come to me acting like you're anything important or like you want to do anything in jiu-jitsu, because if you're not seeking out people that are better than you and going and getting your ass kicked, you do jiu-jitsu and like that's cool, dude. But like, if you really want to be the best, you need to put yourself around those people.
Yeah.
And I don't care where they're at. I'm going to find them. And in Arizona, I put myself around the best guys.
Yeah.
The only thing I would like to do more is go train with Casino and those guys. And he's given me an open invitation. It's just Goodyear's a hike, dude. And I go to Peoria twice a week, and I'm luckily I see those guys there. But like, I'd like to go train there a little more.
Yeah.
But it's so far, and it's just not a good time for me.
Yeah.
But I do what I can, and I try to get myself around the best people, because how else am I going to compete at this level?
Yeah, agreed.
I think that's part of like we were talking about like what's changed like since like in the past 10 years of like how jiu-jitsu's kind of like devolved maybe a little bit, where like there's a lot of guys who are coming up now, blue belts, purple belts, who like don't want to be around people who beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's the people you need to fucking be around.
That's exactly what you need to do.
It's so fucking weird to me, because it was like, I remember being a white belt around you guys and like just getting beat up all the time. And you remember that.
Oh yeah.
Like
I remember I was like, "Who's this Tojo dude?"
Why is he attacking my ankles?
Ankle locks and baseball bat chokes.
Is he wearing toe shoes? But I do.
How dare you? How fucking dare you? I never wear toe shoes.
But you had the toe shoe vibe.
Sure.
But I do remember you baseball choking somebody at a tournament, and I was like, you know what? I'll probably drink with him.
Yeah,
that's legit.
That was the.
I'll have a beer with him.
That was the that was a Vegas Open, and I remember Tojo baseball bat choked a guy, and you were setting it up, and his coach was going, "Don't pass his guard." Remember that?
And I was like, "Here you go, buddy."
And he passed the guard, and you choked him. And I remember the ref going, "What'd you do?"
That was an in-state tournament. It wasn't the
Oh,
Vegas
was it?
Open.
Okay,
It was
yeah.
one of the in-state tournaments,
Yeah.
and that's my claim to fame. That was Benson Henderson's brother-in-law.
You're essentially famous right now.
Dude, I'm fucking famous, bro.
Yeah.
But no, like seriously, like
Twice removed. Famous.
right. But I see so many like young guys, especially blue belts, these days who are just like they beat a couple guys in their gym and they're like, "Oh, I'm the bad dude." And then they go to tournaments and they get beat up and they're like, "You know what? I need to go to a different gym." And then
I fucking hate that shit.
So if we're talking about wisdom from Gustavo,
Yeah.
I'll give you an example that leads right into that.
Mm.
And it was more along the lines of like somebody was talking about, like, man, why don't you like help your competitors and like pay for them to compete, or like give them like a house they can all live in so
Yeah.
they can compete. Like,
Yeah.
why don't you like do more for them, or like let them train for free? And he was like, do you know what I came from?
Mm.
Do you know what I came from to get to where I'm at? He's like, dude, if you want it bad enough, you'll fucking make it happen.
Yeah.
And like, good
Yeah.
that you've, because that'll weed out a lot of them that don't want it bad enough. And you don't want
100%.
those people acting like they want it.
Yeah.
Because if you really want it, you'll do what I did and work a job that
sacrifice.
literally you just worked because the hours worked for your jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And then everything that you had was put into jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like, I was broke.
You're
for
traveling.
years.
You're traveling to Las Vegas with $80.
I'm traveling the country competing on sponsorship money. Like,
yeah. Gary Hatch slept in the trunk of his
do
car.
you know how crazy people thought I was for so long?
Mhm.
Because it was like, I don't care about anything else.
Wow.
I just want to do jiu-jitsu, and I just want to be the best at jiu-jitsu. And I don't care if people think I'm crazy. Like, this is
Yeah.
what I love. This is my scene. This is what I'm gifted at. This is what God intended me to do. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I'm meant to do. This is
Yeah.
where I feel whole. And I don't care about money. I don't care about friendships. I don't care about anything else. Like, I made that post on Instagram this week, joking around. I don't know if you saw it.
Joking around.
I don't
Yeah.
know if
Your Instagram sucks.
after his
it was
Combat
like me
jiu-jitsu.
just talking about like trying to motivate young up and comers. Like,
Yeah.
sacrifice everything you have, dude. Like,
Everything.
sacrifice your body, your
Bro.
finance, everything, and then you can be a professional grappler one day and like get panned down on like a Spirit Airlines. But
Frontier. No
Yeah.
seatbelts.
I mean, dude, that's what
it was tongue in cheek, but like there's a lot of
there's
truth
a
to
lot
it.
of
there's
truth
a
to
lot
that.
of truth to it.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
If I can go back, I'd do it all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron, I'll tell you what, man. Like, you know, I own a for all intents and purposes, it's like a successful jiu-jitsu academy because it's been open for more than 2 years.
Yeah.
Right?
No, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. But
A couple of my friends train there.
oh, awesome. Yeah. So
I don't train there.
Yeah.
What's this guy doing?
I don't know why I invited him.
Oh my god.
But you know, the reality is, like, I grew up in jiu-jitsu. Like, I was 40 years old when I started,
Yeah.
but I grew up.
Yeah.
It literally showed me who I was, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. Whatever the sacrifice I have to make,
Right.
like you at a younger age, this is all I want to do.
Yeah.
And you know, I started out training under you, training under Paul, and being just like being a fat old person, and then you guys molded me into this like different person. You know, I grew up there, and when I talk to people about Nava's gym, that's sacred ground to me.
Mhm.
And if you disrespect Paul's gym, I'll fuck you up.
Right.
Right. And I became a coach there. And what an honor. Like,
Yeah.
I followed you,
Yeah.
right? What an honor to be a coach there. And then now it's like I'm seeing people develop. I went on to open my own academy. Now I'm seeing lives change.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you, if you can do what you love, I don't give a shit what it is, man. Jiu-jitsu, whatever. You'll never regret it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like traveling to Vegas with $80 in your pocket is not awesome, but you don't regret a single moment of that.
You know, what's funny is
No, I had the time of my life.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time. I
Yeah.
mean, the people I was with competing, man, there's nothing better than going out there, competing, winning,
Yeah.
and then being with your boys. And
Yeah.
just, you know what? Like, we're all hungover and miserable in the morning, but there's a lot of good laughs. And it
Yeah.
was just, everyone had the same goal.
Yeah.
And there's just something about this sport that really just really resonated with me, man, from the first time. I remember going to Vegas with Paul as a white belt, 20 years. I just turned 21. Me and Kevin Duran, who were like Paul's best students for a long time, went out to a Coyote Ugly and got shit faced the night before the tournament. And I remember I'd never done anything like that in my life.
I bet Nava was
"Kevin,"
furious.
I woke up in the morning, I'm like,
I bet
"Kevin."
Mav was there.
I was like, Kevin. He wasn't there.
No, okay,
He was not
okay.
there. I remember I was like, Kevin, I'm still drunk. And me and Kevin wrestled together in high school.
Yeah.
So we had a good relationship already, but I was like, you fucking idiot. We shouldn't
Fucking
have
missed
done
that
last night.
guy.
Yeah.
And
Kevin's good.
I think we both ended up winning, but it was just like I'll never forget that, dude.
Yeah.
Like I was just a stupid little white belt.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Who knew I would, I think about all the guys I competed against over the years. They just started off like at white belt. Like, I don't know how many of them gotten this far.
No.
You know?
Well,
So-
even with us, man, like when Nava posts like throwback pictures,
Oh yeah.
I'm always looking like who's still there. Like
It's crazy, man.
right?
We're just crazy enough to where we're still around.
Yeah.
Takes a special person.
Remember Marcos?
Yeah, man.
Marcos is training again.
I saw him the other night,
He
dude.
is.
He's like, I kept seeing videos of all my
always-
friends getting black belts, and I'm like, fuck.
He's always been the homie.
Yeah. I started with Marcos, Kavika, and Brendan Colonel.
I never heard of this.
Brendan.
Yeah. He and I
I'm about to see Brendan in a couple weeks.
yeah, so we all started together. We all started the same week.
Brendan was another guy that was like, dude, I was fucking scared.
I remember the
Yeah.
day, the first day that Brendan submitted me. He's like, "That's the first time I submitted you."
The first time I submitted you was with an ankle lock.
I don't believe you. I don't
Yeah.
tap the ankle.
It was an ankle lock.
I hope Brendan's ACLs are okay. And Brendan's probably going to be the first person I comment on this video on YouTube. Because the last like 4 or 5 times I've been on YouTube for like other podcasts or other channels,
Yeah.
Brendan's right there.
Is he?
He's the first person, dude.
Dude, do you remember Brendan's last tournament at Purple Belt? He just fucking ran through his bracket.
Was it at Phoenix College?
It was one. Yeah, it was one of the local ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, fuck yeah.
I remember
'Cause he struggled a lot for a long
I
time.
remember
No.
Tyson was fucking him up for a while.
Yeah. It was bad.
Tyson's so good, dude.
Dude,
Have you seen his new YouTube channel, by the way?
No, I
I'm gonna
gotta-
plug it in. Can I plug?
yes, please. What is it?
God almighty.
Look it up. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
Tyson, if
Tyson-
you're watching, you're going to be on the show,
It's
brother.
TysonLovesDudes.com.
Tyson.
Tyson
needs
does
to-
Dallas.
Tyson needs to compete again because he's super talented.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
No,
Get off that fucking skateboard. You're going to
Dude.
get hurt.
Tyson and me coming up together competing. Man, same weight. I think we competed against each other. Like,
Same weight. I thought he was featherweight or light feather.
he had a-
no, he did. He did.
He had a great logo, too. Remember that handstand thing he
Yeah,
did?
dude.
Yeah.
Me and Tyson were the same. Me and Tyson probably competed 5 times. I think it's called grappling with Jiu Jitsu.
This is great
It's a
for
YouTube
podcasting
channel.
where we're looking on our phones.
Yeah.
What would you
Hey,
like-
people do that.
I'll find. Listen, I got you, bro. We're in a group chat.
But
together.
anyways, like while you're looking that up, like a lot of people just fucking disappear out of jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah, man. It
Yeah.
happens.
A lot of people are like, "Oh man, you got your black belt or whatever," and it's like, "Yeah, I just kept showing up, bro.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Keep showing up." And there's so many people who just fucking like just disappear. It gets hard. Life
Yeah.
happens. It's like, yeah, life sucks. I get it.
I'm pretty sure
Keep
it's called
showing up.
grappling with Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah.
He does breakdowns on. He just did one of Dalpra.
yeah,
on YouTube, and it's got a ton of views already.
Awesome.
And he's so gifted at it.
Yeah.
He really does a good job of getting all the little details, and he'll go over a position. Of
Tyson's
why.
another like jiu-jitsu nerd where he like
he is.
yeah
Yeah.
He's very technical.
Yeah.
Tyson's always been way more technical than me. Man, he's gifted.
he's
Yeah.
down in Tucson right now, right?
Tyson?
Yeah.
No, he lives in San Antonio, I think. With his,
Who's in Tucson? Who am I thinking of?
don't know, dude. I don't know either. Tucson people.
I'm just making shit up. I'm just trying to move the conversation along.
My boy Willie's in Tucson, but he's a degenerate. So those 10th Planet guys, you gotta watch out.
Freaking Vin said we were going out there. Remember that super fight I did?
Oh yeah, at the like fucking like
Rialto?
theater. Yeah, the
Theater?
Rialto Theater.
You're talking about the.
Oh, we had so much fun that weekend.
What is it called? The Last Warrior Standing.
No. It's
The Tower.
Rise of the Prospects.
It doesn't even fucking matter.
Yeah.
It was a
dude. Okay, so they did Muay Thai,
I've never.
and then they did Jiu Jitsu, right?
I've been asked to be on those.
at a theater.
At a theater.
A real theater.
It wasn't bad.
I've been asked to be on those a few times, and I saw like the promo, and I'm like, I'm not posting that.
So I went there, and they had these Muay Thai fights before Jiu Jitsu. So I was like the third or fourth fight, whatever. But they had the Muay Thai guys, and they destroyed the changing areas. It was just like tents in the back.
Oh god!
Like they came all over the place.
It smelled, bro.
Semen everywhere.
Why is this? This is a classy.
It smelled like, dude. It's like
It couldn't be any worse than my MMA fight on Country Club in Southern. At the what was that called?
I don't even. It's not even there anymore.
You were there.
I know.
Oh my god!
I think it's a fucking like Ace Hardware now.
Let's put it this way, dude. Let's put it this way: the warm up area was the setting from Backroom Casting Couch.
Oh no!
I'm not going to mention
And
any
speaking
names.
of semen, there was a lot there too.
Yeah, that place was gross.
It was like dusted at the time, but it was there, dude.
Dude, I went into. They're like, oh yeah. So I was just warming up in like an alley, and Vin was there, and Paul was there, and they're like, oh yeah, go into the warm up area, and they had mats down.
Yeah,
dude, I walked in there. It was like Sasquatch's dick, dude. It was like so disgusting. It was so,
for the record, we had a lot of fun that weekend.
We did have a great time.
Alex
that weekend.
kicked this guy's ass.
that's how you get staffed. Dude.
or
Yeah,
one.
it's so gross. Yeah.
Who'd you compete against? You were a black belt. You were a black belt.
Black belt. It was early black belt. It was Matt Blank out of Tucson, out of Undisputed.
I remember Thomas fought him at a fight to win one time.
Yeah, I took his back, choked him out.
Yeah.
But
I mean, honestly, it was a good fight.
Dude,
it was.
We had fun. It was just like it's weird to mix a bunch of Muay Thai guys with Jiu Jitsu guys because Muay Thai guys are like, why don't you fucking hit him? Let me jerk you.
I
off.
heard somebody say,
why do you keep bringing up this? Hey,
he's fixated right now.
It's
Yeah.
all about
Can I use the
Please.
restroom real quick?
Of course, yeah.
I'll bring it back.
Right across the hall. Yeah.
We'll talk shit about Aaron while
yeah,
he's
we're
here.
gonna talk mad shit about Aaron when he's gone.
The reason Aaron doesn't want to talk about
Aaron has a fetish with semen, so whenever we bring it up,
that was a lot of fun though that weekend.
it was, man. It was like I think okay, so I sold more tickets than anybody else out of Phoenix that they've ever invited.
Yeah, I mean to be fair, like if that weekend was like all about jiu-jitsu, it was kind of cool because it was like
It was fun.
They had the upper deck, which where we were in the front row of the upper deck, which is actually the best.
It was a great
view in the
view.
house,
Yeah.
because you can see you're above everything.
Yeah.
You can see everything, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
It was just like it's like when
It was very small.
we were watching WWE the other day, yesterday, and there's like a video.
SmackDown or whatever the
And,
fuck it was.
and Alex was talking about this video where it was like, grab his dick, rip his dick off.
The old dick twist.
Yeah, it was like, that's kind of what it felt like watching jujitsu with people who don't know what jujitsu is.
I remember hearing somebody say, because we were in half guard for a long time.
Yeah.
And someone yelled, stand them up. They're just scissoring. There's a lot of truth
You're
to
like,
that.
come down and scissor with me, bro.
But it was Matt Blank is such a great guy, man. He will fight any. He fought a guy named Su Yan, and Su Yan is a 5th degree black belt, and everything that guy does is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've been in the bullpen with Su Yan several times, and I've been grateful that we're not in the same bracket because he's a 168er, and he is a beast. And Matt took on that fight. Matter of fact, I had an opportunity to take that fight, and Nava was like, don't take that fight. He literally told me, don't take that fight.
I can't believe I did that to you.
Dude.
Hold on a second.
Oh, now we're going to talk shit about Tojo.
No, I'm just kicking the dogs out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, get him out of here. Yeah, let's start dragging cords everywhere. Yeah. So we're talking about, I'd like to get more people out of Tucson, like jiu-jitsu guys out of Tucson on the show. Because I think jiu-jitsu in Tucson reminds me a lot of like, it's the same culture like you have in like New Mexico.
Yeah.
Like MMA in New Mexico is very like cult-like.
Well, like Tucson's like a piece of shit.
No. It's not a piece of. Hey, great food.
Well,
Great food. Yeah, come on. There's a lot of good shit in Tucson.
I know a great
I
New
lived in
Mexican,
Tucson for a year of my life, so I have every right to talk shit about it.
We actually stayed in the best Airbnb in the world in Tucson. It was
for real.
So
I was like literally like, I'm gonna look up what kind of mattress this is because I want this mattress.
okay, so here's the Airbnb. 3 bedrooms. They were all identical.
Okay.
All of the bed. You know how you get the like shitty small No, with 2 beds and a bunk bench. No, all the bedrooms were identical. The neighborhood was a little sketchy.
Who
But,
gives a fuck?
but the
It's
fucking
Tucson.
house was awesome.
Every neighborhood's sketchy.
The house was awesome. So one of the best Airbnbs ever. The food was incredible.
Yeah.
We were very hungover eating at Teresa's Mosaic, and I've been there. I've been back several times.
I was supposed to be in Tucson right now.
Bro.
Yeah, they canceled that event, right?
What happened? What event?
I was supposed to fight a Jonatas Gracie yesterday
Oh shit.
in Tucson.
Okay.
Yeah, for that Tower event.
Oh, that was this weekend. What happened? Did it get canceled?
They got rescheduled.
Okay.
So now
Okay.
it's May 6th and at UCLA.
Yeah.
Are you new it?
Oh, I'm doing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
bro.
Hey,
Let me
should we
tell
talk about the
Yes.
the lawsuit?
Oh yes.
Should we talk about
can
that?
we?
You can talk about it.
I like talking shit. All
No,
right.
I'm not. I don't want to talk shit. I just want to.
No, but so I saw this article today.
Tony
Yeah.
is so opinionated.
He
of
is.
things.
I love
I
this.
am,
I
think this
just
is
pulled the
important. I
cord.
think this is important.
Listen,
It is.
Go ahead.
I already read your story, so I know.
He already loved my story.
Oh, I put the hard eyes on.
A lot of
But-
people love my story, but
There's only 3
Bro.
choices.
All right, so here's
You got to love it, comment, or share. I mean,
here's the background for those
dear
who don't
God.
know. Okay, so in 2018, there was this white belt, and when I say white belt,
Are you
I don't.
telling me this was in 2018?
yeah.
Yes,
It didn't happen recently.
yes,
Yeah.
Okay, and so in 2018, this white belt, and when I say white belt, I mean he had wrestling background. He had already competed at Pans twice. So this motherfucker was not brand new to jiu-jitsu, but he was rolling with his coach, which we all fucking know is normal for a white belt to be rolling with his black belt coach.
Yeah.
And
Get
he
fucked up.
and he was bigger than
Yeah,
his coach. He was bigger than his coach, right? So I would say he was probably in that 181, 195-ish weight range, and his coach was probably featherweight to 181.
Okay.
Somewhere in that range,
Okay.
right? So his coach was definitely a little smaller than him. He was trying to turtle, and his coach went to do the, where you grab the lapels in the turtle position and try to like roll him forwards to get him, take his back, right?
Yeah. So basically, what you're doing is you're going. It's called a double under. You're taking your arms under the armpits. You're grabbing the lapels like the collars,
Mhm.
and then you're doing a front roll so that you're almost doing like a slingshot motion. So
Yeah.
your momentum is going to carry them. Anyway, go ahead.
Which is really common. Leo Vieira.
It's been done since 1965.
Yeah, it's super old school.
Yeah.
and very high level. I remember when I was a white belt, people were doing this to
Yeah.
me. Like this is definitely
It was a thing.
and
Yeah.
it's not illegal, which is important here later in this conversation
Right.
here. And he was, and it was very casual. Him rolling with his white belt, like the coach rolling with his white belt. He does this technique. His white belt posts with his head, and unfortunately, when
Talk about posting with the head. What does that mean?
so he's using his head to try to stop the roll forward,
As if you're falling and you post your hand.
yeah.
Right. So okay, go ahead.
To stop the stop the
I
front roll.
should probably stop doing.
Yeah.
Just shrug your shoulders.
Unless your neck is as wide
yeah.
as your head,
But
like
your
Aaron.
Your neck starts at the top of your head, so you're okay. You're fine.
It's just a continuation.
Yeah, you're fine.
For the rest
Yeah.
of us who have these little chicken necks like me, don't post with your neck.
No.
But anyways, he posts with his head, right? And this guy front rolls. And unfortunately, as he rolls forward, his head gets stuck underneath him and he breaks his neck, right? Which is fucking awful, right?
It's awful, yeah.
No one wants to ever see this happen.
And
to anybody.
no coach wants to hurt a student.
Right. There was nothing malicious.
Yeah.
There was nothing there was nothing. This is just a freak accident. Like, because this is like a completely legit technique.
So let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
We have to talk about intent because in order to hurt somebody and be malicious, there has to be malicious intent.
Yeah.
I don't believe that the coach had malicious intent.
I watched the video
No,
and zero.
And I think that anybody that went on, took a stand and said there was malicious intent is a piece of shit.
Is a fucking liar.
Yeah, and we all know who we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
So he can fuck off because that's bullshit. And,
Yeah.
And man, I feel terrible for the kid that's happened to.
Yeah, me too.
And I feel terrible for the coach that's probably lost more than we can know.
Yeah.
Of just rolling with your student. Like,
yeah.
man, that's everything he's put. I mean, we talked about it on this show today of like, you put everything into the sport and then you build something and then you turn that in and then you build people and like, you can lose all of that for just training with your student and having
100%.
something bad happen.
Yeah.
Like, man, I mean, it's terrible that two things can be true at once. It's terrible all around.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
agreed.
I mean, for somebody to go on,
But there's
go
no
on the
negligence.
stand.
There was no negligence, and there's no malicious intent,
No,
which is
and
the
I've
two most
watched
important things.
I've watched it probably 20 times, and I've looked into it more extensively.
Yeah.
And I don't see any ill.
Because we've all rolled with people who are way less experienced than us, and we've like, you play with them a little bit, and you're like, yeah. All right, so there's something to be said about like, yes, you do have the responsibility. Like when you're the far more superior experienced athlete.
Here's my question.
Mhm.
Was there not a waiver signed?
100%. Yeah.
So how did they get around that?
I believe that the
Henner Gracie.
Yeah, I believe
Henner Gracie.
Is that this guy that's always trying to
I
sell
believe that there was a
that are,
professional witness.
Backpack jackets. Yeah, that's him.
Jackets, the
Yeah.
I believe
the
there's
Shark Tank guy.
I believe there was a professional witness that said this was not a typical or correct move.
He actually said it was an illegal technique.
Yeah, it's not an illegal technique.
He actually said that the coach spiked his athlete on his beginner athlete on his head, which like
also not true.
I want to reiterate, this guy competed at Pans twice. Anybody who knows, Pans is not something you just fucking jump into as like a beginner. Like even as a white belt, if you're competing at Pans, you are pretty fucking aware of what's going on with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to say like, oh, you're a professional athlete when you're competing at Pans.
Certainly was not an expert.
No,
but he
no,
knows
no.
what he's doing.
But he's not like complete. It's not like if you were to take some idiot off the street who's never grappled before.
I've seen some idiots compete at the pit.
Okay, fair. No,
They do open it up to white belts. I competed, so I'm just saying.
I changed my opinion. I changed my opinion when I first.
I don't
want
to point any elbows.
Alex Cray.
Aaron, stop yelling at
Alex
me.
Cray. Yeah.
I won my first match.
Did you really?
Yes. But like he wasn't a beginner. Like it was.
Listen, dude. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
God, it's a messed up situation.
It's so
all the way around,
fucked.
dude.
It's so fucked because like you don't want anybody to get like hurt, let alone like permanently hurt. Like
Here-
Well, who
here's
was
the
that
thing.
kid that like went for the armbar at Pans a few years ago, like a purple belt, and the guy was
the
defending.
flying armbar, right?
Yeah, and he ended up like on the top of his head and like had like nerve damage and was like paralyzed too.
Yeah.
I mean these things happen, dude.
It's a combat sport, man.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, somebody in the jiu-jitsu community who has a lot of prestige,
Influence. Yeah.
influence, decided to take this opportunity to not only get paid to express his opinion, quote unquote. His opinion is bullshit according to everyone who's seen the video, but also to kind of like use it to like prop up his own organization,
Right.
Yeah.
which is like even more fucked up, I think, than like,
Are you surprised though?
no.
Not at all.
I'm
I mean,
not, but there's a lot of people who might be, which is like why I think why it's important that we're talking about it. So, all right. So fuck it. He like
Steven, beep
owns
that
like
out.
this
Steven,
online
beep that out.
Steven decided to
You give him a little strong whatever the hell that was.
Yeah, no.
Sailor's
Fucking that-
Sailor's cock
that-
or whatever the
hey,
horse soldier.
maker's mark here, boys.
the horse
Don't worry, we're gonna beep that out.
horse dick you're drinking.
But I mean, in all seriousness, guys, like, he basically decided to use this guy's like really fucking tragic injury to prop up his own organization, which is his thing, which is like,
which I think he does a good job with, like the law enforcement part of, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it has its place. It has its place.
Yeah.
It's not 100% bullshit.
No.
But he decided to use
80.
that. He decided to use this guy getting paralyzed as like a way to prop up his own, organization.
Yeah.
And it just fucking like
It's very convenient that someone who wants to teach the pure self-defense jiu-jitsu to take a sport jiu-jitsu school and shit on it.
Yeah.
That is very convenient.
But
and what better opportunity than when somebody doing sport jiu-jitsu gets hurt?
That's
Yeah.
probably why he has no guilt associated with it. I'm sure.
Exactly.
But what's
yeah.
worse is like, all right, so not that Aaron's going to ever start a school by himself or with anybody
Of course
else.
not.
Never.
course not.
He would never do something
Of
like
course
that.
not. Aaron
But like,
Wilson jiu-jitsu, yeah.
but like Alex, who owns his own gym, or anybody
I will
else,
not be naming it after myself.
Good. Yeah.
but anybody who owns their own gym, this is actually setting a legal precedent to create liability for all of these gym owners who are. Alex, how many white belts do you roll with a week?
10?
All of them.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah.
Everyone you train with, you teach with,
Yeah.
or you roll with, right?
Do you know what that's going to do to my coaching style?
Nothing.
No, it's going to change it.
It shouldn't do anything.
I can't roll hard with white belts because the precedent has been set.
Right. And I hope this gets I hope there's a an appeal, and I hope this totally gets thrown out. To be fair, the guy who got injured from this was totally like, my coach didn't do anything wrong. Like he was not throwing his coach under the bus, and his coach, being a good coach, was just like taking full responsibility when he shouldn't have. Unfortunately, he was basically.
Then you got to think about this guy's family.
Yeah.
Who has hundreds of thousands of dollars probably in medical bills.
Yeah.
Sure,
And
I
now
understand
they're in
that.
a position where it's like, what else?
But
do
it's
we
not
do?
46 million.
And now we have this charismatic black belt coming up to us and giving us answers and telling us there's hope. Like, I would love to know if he approached them or if they approached him.
Aaron,
I would love to know
Aaron,
that too.
If I were a parent of a kid and I don't train and my kid barely trains and you spiked my kid on the mat and you broke his neck and he can no longer do the things that he had strived to do, I would send the police after you.
But
Yeah.
that wasn't a spike.
But
Right.
yeah,
But I'm saying
that's the thing.
But what I'm
There's a
saying
big
is
difference.
What I'm saying is, why wasn't this guy arrested when this happened? If it was truly malicious, and his intent was unpure, right, and he was trying to fuck this kid up, why wasn't this guy arrested? It's like, it's very simple. You go through a criminal trial. The criminal trial says, okay, the coach was not malicious. Okay, now you go to a civil trial. Why are we going directly to a civil trial for suing for $46 million to this small business owner who, by all intents and purposes, was just training jiu-jitsu with his student?
That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah. Now, and here's my biggest point too. I'm a coach. You're a coach. You're a coach. We're all coaches in this room. We've all rolled with people who are well below our skill level,
course,
right?
Yeah.
Anytime you hurt somebody by accident, like a complete freak accident, you hurt somebody, maybe you like pull their hamstring or something like really minuscule, pop their ankle by accident or whatever it is, you always want to be like, no, dude, sorry, dude, that was my fault.
So sorry,
I shouldn't have went that hard on that or whatever it is. It's like, we're all we're in jiu-jitsu. I think most coaches are so humble that they want to take all of the blame.
Yeah.
Legally, that's the worst fucking decision in the world. And the problem is like the coach who was rolling with this white belt was like, no, I was the black belt. It's 100% my fault. The reality is, it wasn't anybody's real fault. This was a freak accident.
It was a freak accident, man.
And it sucks. And this coach, it was being the bigger dude, and he was just being like, "Yeah, man, dude, I fucked up. I'm so sorry. I love you, dude.
Right,
I'm
because
sorry."
he's a black belt and he's probably a good human being.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
And then here comes the grifter, who's like, "Oh, I can make 100 fucking K."
Oh, I struck out on Shark Tank. Oh, I struck out on my freaking airplane jacket nap time hoodie.
Yeah.
It fucking blows my mind that somebody with a straight face could go into this and be like, "Yo, I can make money off of this."
Well, go ahead, Tojo, and tell. See, he's a mark ass bitch right now on the podcast.
is a Mark-ass bitch.
Steven, we're gonna beep that out.
No, honestly, like
I cannot take responsibility.
I don't care because it's
Hey, we gotta
so
do our
fucked
little.
up.
We gotta do our little. The comments and influenced by Tojo is not supported by this podcast.
I honestly don't give a shit because it pisses me off so much that
bullshit.
somebody who has such a big influence in the jiu-jitsu community
You got more
could
of these?
open.
Yeah. Oh, we ran out, but we got makers.
Hey, give me a little makers.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
So, and that's my thing too, is like, he's so obnoxious just in general.
Yeah.
With like his like salesman pitches. That It's
Yeah.
like, it's just irritating to
Have
see
you
him.
have you seen Jeff Glover attack him?
No.
Jeff Glover is all over him.
I
dude.
love all these like Nogi guys that just shit on everybody. Like,
Yeah.
dude, the stuff.
Cheers, boys.
Yeah, cheers, boys. The content they're putting out at B Team right now, just that's kind of what inspired the shit I put out last week too. Is like, it's just like, you know what? Let's stop taking each other so seriously.
Yeah.
It's jujitsu.
I love the B team shit.
It's fun, man.
It's fun. It's fun. And you know what? Like, if you're good at jujitsu, you don't need to act like it. You don't get at jujitsu.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Do you know?
100%.
Someone once said, it was a fucking great quote. Someone once said, "There's about 1,000 white belts in the world, like talking shit about how they submitted Jeff Glover." Because Jeff Glover will put himself in the worst situations.
Well, we all do. We all do.
That's how he trains, and he doesn't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah, I
like
don't
he
care.
just plays, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, take my back. Okay, get this rear naked choke and sink it in deep, and he just plays from there,
Yeah.
Right.
right? That's the type of environment that I want to cultivate. Like,
Yeah.
like no fucking ego. Like, pass my guard. I don't give a fuck, dude. Let's just play.
Let me wrap this up.
cannot-
Let me wrap this up real quick.
We're gonna wrap the
We can move on from the
beat
fucking
that out.
the fucking.
You're gonna
Beep that out.
You're just gonna take out the
100%.
I
No, I'm just gonna beep it out. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No. Oh yeah. No. We'll leave it in.
oh, it's gonna
beep
be
it out.
raw.
Oh yeah.
This is
Raw dog.
dog.
Raw.
This is
Okay. All right, guys.
That's the way Aaron Wilson likes it.
So,
that's well,
so
damn, dude.
all of this happens, guys.
One
I'm
sip of
sorry.
Makers
There's a lot
and
of
you're like-
proof in this.
Aaron's drunk. Alex
I
is
have a-
drunk.
I
I'm
have
here
a-
like
I
I'm an
do-
alcoholic, so I'm like I'm sober.
I do have a child. I do.
Right.
So all of this happens, right? This kid gets fucking paralyzed, which is fucking awful,
It's awful.
by his coach, which is awful for both parties, right? No one wants to fucking paralyze one of their students, and nobody wants to be fucking paralyzed, right? We all, right? That goes without saying, right? And nobody was at fault here. Like, this was a freak accident. This is a 100% legit technique. Comes out with this video saying his coach was negligent and malicious, spiking his student on his head, right? Paralyzing him, using an illegal technique, quote unquote. And then we're all like, okay, that sucks. This fucking coach is a dirtbag.
Yes, I thought so too.
Yeah, we all thought this. And then we're like, all right, so again, this happened in 2018. So this is what we're in 2022, 23 right now.
23, yeah.
What fucking year is it, bro?
23.
I've lost track.
Yeah.
So this is like, 3 years later, and or 6 years later.
Jesus, dude. 5 years later, bro.
5.
Drink.
Jesus
Go, go,
Christ.
go, go.
God almighty.
There's a lot of proof in this.
Will you wrap up the?
Beep that out.
This is many years later. But like, so this, and it comes to a conclusion where this guy is getting a payout of $46 million because of a expert, quote unquote,
Yeah.
opinion saying like this was negligence and malicious. And we're like, okay, yeah, fuck this coach. And we see the video and we're like, wait a second. That's not what
Nothing
any of
to
us,
Yeah.
anybody who trains jiu-jitsu saw that and we're like, hold on, wait, what? It was a casual roll with a black belt and one of his students, and a fucking freak injury happens, which is fucking awful,
Yeah,
right?
but those people on the jury don't know that. The
Exactly.
judge doesn't
Right.
know that.
They don't know that
100%.
shit.
This
Yeah,
is
100%.
This is a whole layered, like,
But
which
for-
is a shame because
And the expert witness is like a well-known guy.
yeah.
Right.
Well, you mean your last?
Yeah.
one.
Well, but take advantage of this situation to not only prop up, or not only just take this like $100,000 paycheck or $120,000 or whatever he got paid to be
Which
an
is
expert witness.
not illegal.
Yeah, no, I understand. Like as an expert witness, you should get paid.
Yeah.
But he totally took advantage of the situation. I don't even. from what I can tell, he didn't even see the original video before he made his opinion.
You know, I think
because anybody who like, you're a black belt, I'm a black belt, you're a black belt. We all saw this video. None of us think that he spiked that kid on his head intentionally.
No.
Looks like a run-of-the-mill back attempt.
Yeah. By accident, he got hurt. It sucks. I fucking feel for that guy. Yeah. It's horrible.
It's terrible.
But I would not say like that that coach was out of line. Like,
and I feel for the kid that got hurt, and I really feel for the coach because I mean that's your whole reputation, your whole life, everything you have, and jiu-jitsu, something that you're passionate about and you love, and it's all gone essentially. You know, one thing I do like, and you've been there when we're about to start rolling, and I do this every once in a while. I can't, you know, like you, I read the room, right? You can have the best laid plan out, and then you walk in and like, it's not going to work today, right? And you read the room. But when I have a room full of gorillas and half the room is like little people, sorry, Tojo.
I thought I was a gorilla.
No, you're not a gorilla. But, you know,
chimpanzee?
I'll just say like, hey, bring it in. Before we start rolling, these are the things we're not going to do.
Yeah.
If you outweigh somebody by 50 pounds, I don't want you standing.
Well, one thing you do at your school that I really like is like, hey, if you're standing, everyone around you is your responsibility.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Do you remember Christian Broadnex?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shoya Roll sponsored guy.
Is he still around?
No, I have no idea where he's at.
Yeah.
He's a beast, dude.
At one time, he was one of the best guys in there. He was the best guy in Arizona. One of the best guys in the world.
Yeah.
We trained at Gustavo's together. And when we rolled, it was like the finals at the fucking Worlds.
Yeah.
Mundial.
It was like take down, lift, throw, scramble for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And like I would remember like bumping in like and you had Sarah Black on this podcast.
Yeah.
And like Sarah would get mad and be like, what are you guys doing? At the time, I'm this arrogant little kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm getting ready for the
little
Worlds.
kid, he's like 22.
What the fuck? I'm getting ready for the world. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna roll hard.
Yeah.
But like looking back on it, it's like dude, we could have hurt somebody.
Yes.
Like we were so selfish and arrogant.
Yeah.
And just full of testosterone at that age. Like we didn't give a fuck about anybody else around us, which is bad.
Yeah.
But like that's just
but that's the age.
that's what we were.
But to be fair, that's your coach's
like,
fault. Not your coach's fault, but it's your coach's job to set you guys back. If you guys are doing that, like, keep you guys away from like the guys who are just.
I would argue
we had a lot of talks.
Yeah.
They had a lot of talks with us, but we just wanted to win the world so bad.
Yeah.
But like now looking back on it as an older man, it's like, man, I was kind of a dickhead for that, you know?
Sure, yeah.
Well, now I see where they're coming from for that, you know? It's like,
but how else do you get
we're
better,
landing
though?
on
Also,
people mid-roll. Like, we
Yeah.
could easily drop an elbow and break someone's nose or knee somebody in the head and give them a concussion.
Yeah.
Like,
and we've all
that's
gotten
a weird,
hit from
and
that
that's
kind
a
of
weird
shit.
dynamic in jiu-jitsu.
It is.
Right? Because you'll have an academy where you have a 10 a.m. class and you have 12 guys
Yeah.
that are trying to win the worlds.
Yeah.
And they're trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
And they're trying to break each other's ankles every day.
Yeah.
Like, there's animosity there. Like they train to give, you know what I mean? Like whatever. And then you have like some guy who's a freaking accountant. And then like,
You're right.
Well, I mean, the problem
And
is
then, like,
too many people have seen like blood sport where they think this is like where we're all going off to fucking like Thailand and we're like, this is fight to the death.
but that's like,
and,
that's like something
that's what they think of the like combat sports though.
Yeah.
But that's something that's different, like from the wrestling culture and the jiu-jitsu culture. It's like wrestling culture. It's like you're with guys your own age who are all savages and you're trying to kill each other. And you're trying to get better. Period. And that's just what it is. But jiu-jitsu is like there's this melting pot of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And now you have to learn to like make it work with everybody.
Yeah.
And it's just like you can have a comp class.
Yeah.
And you can have reserve things, but there's kind of no way to avoid that mixture of the two.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's kind of hard to.
But it's always like we all accept the danger of like possibly getting our fucking knee blown out or our shoulder popped.
The thing that Samir does in his school is
Who?
Samir.
I never heard of him.
Samir Chantre.
Is he good?
I love you, Samir. Don't listen to Tojo.
I'm just kidding. I love you. Don't hurt
please
me.
kill Tojo the next time he comes to town.
Samir knows he's one of my favorite people.
Yeah.
I love Samir.
Since I was like a purple belt, I was like,
So,
was the
Who's, by the
coolest
way, his Instagram is fucking awesome. It's
Yeah.
like 10 seconds of just awesome technique.
Yeah.
Every
thing.
fucking
Oh,
post.
so you guys praise his Instagram and you guys hate mine.
Your Instagram sucks.
your
bro.
Instagram sucks.
Why does my
bro.
Instagram
No,
suck?
dude. You got shit from 3 years ago, like your third fucking thing, bro. No, you
What?
can't. No, you got to post shit. You got to 4 things a day.
bro.
No, I
Bro.
You
can't
do so much shit. You got to fucking do 4 things
My
a day.
story's
Man
popping.
thong. You guys.
Okay.
You,
I
Here we
throw
go.
the abs on there quite a bit. My
You-
story's popping.
okay, the abs are impressive. I'll give you that. And the shoulders, it could lose a little work.
you should grow that dad bod. You should the dad bod jiu-jitsu, bro. That's hopping
Yeah.
right now.
Dude,
but-
33 years old and never taken anything.
Right on, man.
You should try.
But what Samir does that I really admire, because he was I mean, he's a mentor, right? I mean, and when you're in
I think
business,
we all here have a lot of appreciation for
Yeah.
what Samir does.
yeah. So as a business owner, like I bounced a lot of shit off of him, and what he told me was like he has a 10:30 class that is all his killers, all the black belts, and that's their hour to kill each other. And he says the evening classes are for them to help people get better.
Right.
So you're not landing on motherfuckers. You're not landing on an accountant
Right.
at 10:30, but you are at 7. But that's a
there
different
has
dynamic.
there has been a lot of improvement in training in jiu-jitsu and MMA over the years, where it's the smarter, not harder type of philosophy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And for so long, I would train 2-3 times a day, like as hard as I can.
Yeah.
Which hurt me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I would have been better off if I had, in the evening class, focused more just on technique.
Mm.
I don't need to go 100% balls to the wall, but I come from a culture where if you're not doing the best you can at all times, 24/7,
Yeah.
someone else is working harder than you.
You're
Yeah.
being a
And
bitch.
you need
Yeah.
to go harder and harder and harder. And like, it gets to a point where it's like, I'm 33 years old. I can't do that
Yeah.
anymore.
Well-
So you got to be smarter with it. And I think jiu-jitsu and MMA has really came around to that, where it's
Yeah.
like more emphasis
Yeah.
on just like specific things and just
I mean,
having-
that's like it
having-
with everything, right?
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
we were just kind of behind the curve because it was
Yeah.
amateur sport. But
Yeah.
I think as
Uh-huh.
it's becoming more professional, you see more science being implemented into like the approach of it.
But I
right,
think that's
too.
why we're seeing a lot of
Yeah.
masters athletes like yourself, Cashinho, like Samir, like still being very relevant in the adult divisions.
That was always
Yeah.
something that blew my mind. Was like, I didn't get my black belt till I was 29.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wanted to have some time at the top, but everyone's like, just compete in masters. And it's like, well, let me have my time at black belt, like adult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like,
Well,
that's
I mean,
fine.
you're still in your prime.
And that was the thing. It's
Yeah.
like, man, there's like MMA fighters that are 35, 36 that are still at the top of their game. Granted, they spend a lot of money on their body and other stuff as well. But it's
Yeah.
like, man, if I can figure out a way,
steroids.
Stop it.
well, not everyone.
Sometimes.
They get tested.
Yeah.
There's ways around it.
Yeah, you
I don't
just
wanna-
gotta
we're not
cycle.
gonna go there
It's
now.
an IQ test.
Let's talk about how we cycle off of that.
But you get what I'm saying. You made me get off topic here for a
It's
second.
not a steroid test; it's an IQ test.
Yeah, well, and it's the thing, dude. Is like there's ways to do it the right way. And,
Yeah.
and you can go longer.
There's
Yeah.
smarter, not harder, like you were saying
And
earlier.
I will completely and totally stop competing at this level when I feel like I can't hang
Mm.
or like I can't win. But like
Mm.
right now, today, I feel like I have a lot left.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly good continuing on this path, but I know it's coming to an end soon.
Sure.
And when it does come into an end, that'll probably be it for me as a competitor.
Yeah.
I probably just invest a lot of time in coaching at that point. I think
Yeah.
that'll be like, I've always been a coach.
Yeah.
Even when I wrestled in high school, like as a kid, I was like super into technique, super into coaching, motivating. Like my calling in life is a motivator of young men.
Yeah.
I worked at a job for 4 years working with juvenile delinquents.
Yeah.
Coach-
I remember that.
I coached wrestling there.
That's right. Was it you and Daniel that worked the same job?
It was just me.
Just you. Okay. Yeah.
I loved that job.
Yeah.
And I loved, and I was able to reach these kids that had issues. Man, kids.
I remember your
kids
little
from the-
polo shirt.
Yeah, kids from the worst cities in America: Baltimore, DC,
Yeah.
Dallas, Fort Worth area. Like
You guys, you need it the most.
full
yeah.
on gang
Yeah.
members. And then I coached wrestling there and worked with the at risk, like a high risk cottage,
Yeah.
the gang members, the runaways, the druggies, the everything.
Mm.
I worked with those kids, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. And dude, that's my calling in life, is to be a motivator of young men.
Yeah.
So I feel like, man, when I finally do come around opening up my own academy, like I want to reach those kids.
Yeah.
I want to get them in the doors.
Yeah.
And then, you know what? Let's see what you guys can do. And
Yeah.
the future is so bright in jiu-jitsu, like, because of that, because of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, because it's always like the guys who are coming up, who are like, I didn't have very much, and then they were taught by a guy who, like, you know, didn't have very much, and it's like, it's always like this ladder, like they're every like generation, it's like one run of that ladder.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool to see like how much like it can grow, and it's just like, you had more than the guy below you, but who had more than the guy below him. And it's just like, the sky's the limit. It's just really cool to see where grappling can go.
And the cool thing is, like, you have always been, like, you've had like that coach's heart. I can't say it enough, man, how much you influenced me as, dude, I had you by almost 20 years.
I was a kid, dude.
You were a child, but still, like, I looked up to you as my coach, and bro, getting my first win was all because of you. And like, I was so dejected because I did 2 tournaments before you and I started working together, and I got destroyed, dude. Like, it wasn't even close. And I remember the second time I lost, Russo came up to me. He goes, "Hey,
who?
Russo, John,
Never heard of
Tony
her.
Russo.
Never heard of her.
He came up to me and he said,
That's like the nicest guy in the world.
he fucking is, man. He goes, "Hey, how'd it go?" I was like, "Well, if there is a God, I don't have another fight."
He doesn't like me. He doesn't like me very much.
If there is a God, I don't have another fight. But I remember I came to you and I'm like, "Dude, I have no confidence on my feet." And he's like, "All right." And you were like, "Okay, let's work on a takedown." And we just worked the same fucking thing. And I loved it. I loved it because like,
no, and I genuinely liked you, so it wasn't like work. I was just like,
thanks, man.
I like this guy. He's all right.
yeah.
Like, it wasn't like
Fuck off.
Tojo had came in there. And,
Yeah,
well,
man.
I mean,
First
dude,
of all, I'm
just
the
to
best
think,
student
like,
ever.
I don't know
how dumb was everyone else when they had access to, like,
Oh yeah, dude. Listen. I'd walk into wrestling.
you were just smarter than everyone else.
I walked into wrestling class. It's literally a private lesson.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You know,
fuck
I
yeah.
remember,
And you think of it as
Koa
like a
used-
bad thing, right?
Koa and Keola used to come a lot too.
Yeah.
Remember, it was like the
Yep.
3 of you guys were like the most
Yep.
consistent
Koa.
dudes.
Koa is my guy, man. Koa's my fucking guy, dude. I love him.
I'd give him a hug right now if he was here.
But dude, Koa,
I'd hug the fuck out of him if he was here right now.
I remember Koa came up to me and he's like, "Hey, I think I can get a key from Paul. Do you want to come in at 5 a.m. and
By
roll?"
key, he means a key of cocaine.
No.
Oh, sorry. my bad.
What are you doing?
But
I'm already done with you.
we
And by the way, I haven't watched any of the new Mandalorian.
what?
That's all right. Mandalorian's okay.
Yeah.
Well,
fuck
I thought you
that.
were disappointed at me.
No,
Yeah.
dude, Star Wars hasn't fucking been good since. Whatever. We won't get into it. We won't get into it.
Yeah. Koa's my guy, man.
What was that? Koa's a phenomenal.
Sorry, I have
human
COVID.
being. His
Koa's my
family's
guy.
his family's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Everyone associated with him, dude.
Yeah.
He makes babies like it's a sport, but yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and what a blessing we all had to just be able to meet all these amazing people.
Yeah.
You know, and whether
Yeah.
or not we like keep in touch with them still or we hang out with them still, when you see them,
Yes.
you look at them and you go, "We had a moment together,
Yeah.
and it was special."
Yeah.
And I will always appreciate and remember you for that.
Yeah.
You know, like I
Yeah.
went over to your school and Koa was teaching, and like I hadn't seen Koa in probably 2 years.
Yeah.
And it was like, man,
Yeah.
you know, we
Yeah.
had some times, dude.
I
like,
100% agree. I like every time you run into some guy you haven't seen in fucking like 8 years, you're like, dude, what the fuck, man?
yeah.
Miss you, dude.
Yeah, like, dude, if I
can't-
see Gary at Paul's, I'll probably cry.
Dude.
Oh my God.
He's
back!
He's exactly how you remember
I
him.
cry.
He's exactly how you remember.
I
I
will cry.
Yeah.
Gary Hatch, we all fucking love you.
We all love you, man.
He's the goodest. He's the best dude ever.
I think that core group of guys that really helped build Paul's brand. And man, I mean, we're a long time from when that started, right?
Yeah.
But I think that'll just be a special group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That moving forward will be old as shit.
Yeah.
And still just
Yeah.
like, man,
I'm
you
already
know
there.
what?
Yeah. Hey,
Um,
hey, before you, I know it's like we're starting to get into like, oh, how long have we been doing this?
I don't give a fuck about that.
I know. Hey,
Yeah.
Aaron, let me ask you a question real quick. So we kind of like hinted towards a lot of this earlier. Alex has to go piss because he's a bitch. He's going to piss because he's a pussy.
He has an old man's bladder. Is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he probably has to.
Oh, he didn't leave.
Oh, he's still
He's
here.
still here.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, Aaron.
He's a very handsome man too.
He's the handsomest
I told
60-year-old I know.
when he first initially lost all of his fatness. I remember I told Amy, I was like, he's like a Mexican George Clooney.
Ooh.
He's a handsome man. I mean, do you remember when I said that?
I do.
I did, and you know what? I meant it. But continue on your tangent there.
So I wanted to ask you a question, like, because everyone in this room is master's level or master's age.
I refuse to accept it.
I know, I know you do, but especially for that adult level blue belt coming up here, you know, fucking piss and vinegar right now. Like, what do you recommend is the best plan of action for that blue belt dude, especially, like the guy especially, women also, but like it's always that like the guys who can't fucking like get their fucking, they can't get out of their own way. They can't get out of their own way. What is your best?
Are we like talking about a particular person right now, or
Gary
me.
Hatch. We're talking about Gary.
Me. We're talking about me.
so
me
like
10 years ago.
Are you talking like a young? How old blue belt?
20 to 25-year-old blue belt coming up.
You're too late.
Wanting to quit jiu-jitsu.
Quit now.
You're too late.
Avoid the rush.
I'm serious. I'm sorry.
A young blue belt.
When I was 20, 21, and you're a blue belt, you can make it work. Nowadays,
you got to be like a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, 19-year-old.
you got 20, 21-year-old black belts.
You got
right now.
Damien waiting
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
You're
know
fucked.
what I mean?
You're fucked.
And Damien really, I know he's a purple belt, but
He's a brown belt.
Damien's not a purple belt.
Damien can hang a black belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Damien
He popped my
and that's
right
like,
ankle.
and that's my freaking nephew, dude. Like, I love that kid.
Yeah.
I love
He's
Damien
legitimate.
too.
I've seen Damien submit and beat some very high level, well-known black belts.
Wow.
I'm
So,
right here. You can just say
If you're a blue
Not
belt,
you.
listen, I'm not going to say they can't do it because they can,
yeah.
but you better not like doing anything else.
I love that. Yeah.
That's actually what
Yeah.
I wanted you to hit on is that, like, as an adult level, it doesn't matter what belt you are, white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt. If your goal is to be blue belt world's champion, purple belt world's champion, it's like you can't have anything else fucking taken away from you.
there are no other hobbies.
No.
And
This is
that is why I made that fucking stupid video. When
Yeah.
I was on my way home from Cancun.
Yeah.
Because it's funny and there's a joke involved in it. But man, it's the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of time, effort, energy, injuries. Do you know how lucky I am? I've been sponsored by physical therapy offices for 12 years. Do you think I'd be able to get where I'm at without that? Without Jenny at OS and without Greg at Control?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I wouldn't be able to manage it. Like,
Yeah.
I am blessed, and I've been able to surround myself with people who have been able to elevate my journey and my dream and put me in a position to compete at the highest level. But like, man, if you don't have all these little ingredients in the soup to make it work, a coach that supports you, training partners that
It's
are
a
good
perfect
enough,
storm you have to have, right? Yeah.
sponsors that give a shit about you,
Yeah.
family that dude, my girlfriend, do you know the sacrifices she makes so that I can train like I do?
She actually hates you.
So we didn't want to talk about this,
She probably doesn't.
Aaron.
Amanda told me that she
Amanda,
fucking hates you.
she made you cookies. So you
Oh, those
decided-
cookies were awesome.
And they were fucking bomb.
Yeah.
But like
I
the
judged them.
sacrifices, like I have a child,
Yeah.
like with a disability, and like
Mm.
the sacrifices she makes so that I'm able to chase this silly little dream with no financial compensation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not like
what?
joining the NFL or anything.
Yeah, dude. Like, I just there's so many things need to go right, dude.
Yeah.
And it takes it. You know,
Well, let's assume someone has like everything in their favor, like their family supports them. They don't have a significant other to drag them down because that's what significant others do.
Hey.
whoa, mine actually.
Whoa, bro.
mine
Whoa,
actually-
whoa.
What just happened
Mine
here?
elevates me.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm
Jeez,
just kidding.
I'm telling.
But like, well, let's assume they have everything
Okay,
life-wise
so you're
growing
talking
from.
about some 21-year-old. He's good. He has some skill. There's potential there, right?
Yeah,
He's doing well.
and he's got everything in his favor.
And what would I?
What does he need to do?
What does he need to do? Okay, I hope he doesn't have any other hobbies.
Yeah.
You need to train
Mm-hmm.
Twice a day, probably 5-6 days a week.
Yeah.
Whatever job you have, if you have one, hopefully you don't, so you can train all day. If you do have a job, you need to make it work to where you're still able to go and train as much as you possibly can, and you have the flexibility to take time off to compete. But here's the issue I see with a lot of kids coming up nowadays. I see a lot of kids, even at the big purple brown level, that think they want to be competitors, that think they want to compete. It's like, do you guys have any idea like what I put my body, finances, mind, everything through just to get to a tournament?
Yeah.
How bad do you really want it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sacrifice going out with your friends, sacrifice any social life you have.
Mm-hmm.
If you're dating girls, that used to be my opening line when I dated chicks. It's like, this is jiu-jitsu, and
I train competitive jiu-jitsu.
it comes before you, and if you
Yeah.
don't like it, then we just can't talk.
Yeah.
But like, it needs to be your first priority.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be willing to like, I'm missing my nephew's birthday party because
Yep.
I'm at a tournament.
Yeah.
I'm missing family time. I'm missing Easter. Like I'm going and training I used to train on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Can I take that a step farther?
Sure.
No.
So
No, you can't.
I have some parents that will, talk about their kids training, and they'll say that, their kid wants to compete at Kids Pans, which is the biggest kids tournament in the world.
Yep.
It's the biggest tournament in the world. And I'm
Is there
like,
no kids at Worlds?
no, there's no Kids Worlds.
Kids Pans is
Kids
the big.
Pans is the show.
It's
Yeah, okay.
the show.
Okay.
And you can't compete as a white belt. You got to be gray belt. So some people will promote
the
a
same
little
thing.
early, right? They'll promote a little early to get
Mhm.
them in there. And I'll tell them this. And I've never met these people, and I've never know the true story. But I tell them yeah, your kid will do well because they train hard and they work hard. But there's a kid in Brazil that lives in a house with dirt floors, and they're seeing what Undergaval and all of the people, Leandro Lowe, and all the guys that came before us.
They're taking it out.
Yep. And they see what those people, Kishinyo, who came from a tough background, and they'll see what they did, and they'll say, I can get my family out of this poverty, out of this dirt floor, and be like, I could be a millionaire. And I'm going to train my ass off.
It's not even a millionaire. They're like, I can have my own house with a real floor.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything.
It might grow to millionaire, but
But all I have to do is do this
Yeah.
all the time. Now, if you've got a parent that is like, man, I hate to say it, but the kid's a little soft. You know what I mean? Not dedicated, but wants to go to Kids Pans, your kid's going to get blown out.
They're like, I'll give you guys $300 extra a month. It's not the money.
It's not the money, man. It's not the money, bro. That's what you're against right now. That's what the kids are coming up, and they're seeing this shit right now.
Let it happen, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, think about that.
A little dose of reality goes a long way.
A lot of kids,
You don't know until you fucking know.
And it's not the kids, it's the parents
100%.
who think they can buy their way into pants.
100%.
Dude, you know how many years?
Can't.
You know how many years I fucking was competing, and I was murdering opens, IBJJF opens,
Yeah.
winning,
Yep.
winning, and I'm on a roll. And you know what? I'm like, dude, I'm gonna fucking win the worlds. Like, this is my year.
Yeah.
Make it happen. And I get blown out by some no-name kid from fucking Brazil.
Yep.
That just like got a
Just got out of his
$80
fucking
gi
dirt
on
bag.
and
yeah.
just like this kid, this is everything he has. Like,
Yeah. Which
When
is
you
fucking
get-
really commendable. Like, it's really cool.
when you get to those big tournaments, you're gonna learn that like this means more to people than just a hobby.
Yeah.
This ain't
is
soccer, man.
This is
Yeah.
someone's fucking life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way that like
Their way out. Yeah.
well, and the way that like parents pour money into like kids so they can get a college scholarship in other sports,
Mm-hmm.
these kids are putting everything they have into jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
Yep.
because this is their way out.
This is
their degree, their way to get out of
And it's only
poverty.
getting better.
That's
it's only getting
that's a
better.
Q, Samir,
Yeah.
Kyotera, like
It's only getting better though with all the sponsorships and all the accolades,
Which
and
is
all
actually
the
really
ADCCs and
cool.
the Emerald Cities.
but
yeah.
it fucking I think that sinks a lot of the dreams for those like the white American like
I want you to think what $10,000 means for an American family. 2
Nothing.
months, 2 months of expenses.
nothing.
Think about what $10,000 would mean to a Brazilian kid
Dude, I'll give
living
you-
on dirt floors.
I'll give you a prime example, and I'm not going to use any names, but I had like a very high level world champion from Brazil living with me for a period of time, and my other roommate who was Brazilian told me like, because I would take this kid.
Which
to
one of these
practice,
kids is
from
Orlando?
practice. Orlando would tell me like I took this kid to from practice, like I would take him to In-N-Out Burger, and I had a full-time job at the time. I
Yeah.
made pretty decent money. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't poor.
Yeah.
I had a decent job where I could train and do whatever. And he told me like, man, he didn't like you. Why? Because he thought you were rich. Like
Whoa.
I
Yeah.
drove, bro. I would literally drove a used 2006 Mitsubishi Eclipse and lived in a jiu-jitsu house
Yeah,
paying $350 a month. But like he thought I had it all,
Yes.
and like that blew my fucking.
And
mind.
he was saying, fuck this guy.
And you know what? And he respected me because all the other Americans at the gym that he would roll with and go hard with would bitch out. And you know what I would do? I'd be like, "What's up, dog? Like, let's go right now. Like me and you. Like I don't care who you are." And
Yeah.
he respected me for that. But it just puts a little perspective in like, man, they would kill to have what you have,
100%.
and we take it for granted.
Yeah,
And
100%.
And we're always, how we get. This is just the rat race here in America. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
nothing you have is ever good enough, and you want to get better. And
Mhm.
it's not bad. It's not a bad thing to want nicer things, right? It's not a
Sure,
bad thing to
yeah.
want to
No,
improve,
of
but
course
it's
not.
like,
Yeah.
man, just take a moment to sit back and be like, I have this beautiful academy to train at. I'm
Yeah.
able to train with like some of the best guys in the world. I'm able to work a job and do what I love. Like
Yep.
I'm blessed.
Yeah.
But you don't see that in the moment.
Yeah.
You don't
That's-
see that in the moment. You're
yeah,
just in
totally.
the moment. You're like, God, if I get third place again, I'm gonna,
You know, I'm gonna
It's something we all take for granted. Like it's BJJ, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, right? And a lot of us don't realize that. Like, yeah, they're. All right, first of all, let's not get it twisted. There is people that live in Brazil who are just as well off as the three of us in this
Oh,
room.
of course, yeah.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
let's not get it twisted. But there are also people in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu who are like you said, living in dirt with like dirt floors.
Yeah.
Right. Like they come here and they're like, this is an opportunity. Like I'm not fucking squandering this opportunity.
The only
You know
thing
what,
standing
dude?
between me and my parents' future is that person.
Yeah, this fucking cunt who has copper copper piping,
Yeah.
carpeted floors,
Yeah.
tiled floors, hardwood floors. Like fuck this guy.
I'm going to fuck him up.
I'm gonna
yeah.
fuck this guy up.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's wild, dude.
It's weird.
and
wow.
that's just playing on repeat in their head right before
Yep.
they go against you.
right.
Oh,
Yep.
if I win this, I can go be an instructor somewhere.
Yeah.
And get
Yeah.
the fuck out.
Yeah.
And this little bastard
Yeah.
is in my way.
yeah.
Oh, he's going down.
Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about what you talked about earlier. Like, why don't you have a house, right? Imagine if they have an opportunity come to the States
they do Dream Art Academy does that.
and they get to stay in that house, make money teaching,
Yep.
and they can send money home.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, and
I'm
you're in the way.
Yep. That's not even a thing, dude. Like
Yeah.
you're
And-
just that. Well,
Luckily for me, I've always had a little thug in me.
yeah,
Like I've always had a little like
yeah,
edge.
yeah,
But like for other guys that don't, I've seen guys that are really talented, gifted, coming up, winning tournaments, but they just don't have that grit
yeah,
that it takes to make it
Yeah.
at a high level.
yeah.
Man, you might be able to get to purple. Man, you might be able to get a little bit through brown with it,
Yeah,
just doing your thing. But you went to college and got a degree. Now you need to make money, and that's more important than jiu-jitsu. It's like you got to have a grit. You got to have like a edge about you, and you got to be obsessed. And if you don't have that, you're not going to do anything with the sport because, like we said, there's so many kids coming up.
Yeah.
And this is everything to them.
And they're tough.
And
they're tough.
That's kind of something that I play through my mind too. Like right before, I mean, I lost last weekend. That sucks. But before I competed, I left the arena and I went for a walk down in Mexico. I probably walked a mile. And I just kept repeating in my head, like, everything I've done to get to where I'm at. And I just had like a flashback of like everything I've put myself through, the pain, the injuries, the sacrifices I've made. Like, and then I went like currently into my life and like everything I do on a weekly basis to train, to eat right. Like I do all the little things, and I'm reminding myself that. And I'm reminding myself, like, why am I here? Because I love this.
Yeah.
And this is everything to me.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did I get here? Because I've worked my fucking ass off for 13 years.
Yeah.
So this is my time and this is my opportunity to showcase my abilities and make a bigger name for myself.
100%.
And that's just got to be something that goes on through your head. Like when you're leading up to something, it's like, I didn't get here by accident.
Yep.
I didn't get here for anything. I got here because I put myself here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got some help along the way. And yeah, some people helped me. And by all accounts, I'm here because of me, because I wanted this and because I saw this in my future.
Yeah.
Like I spoke this into existence. So you know what? I can speak a win into existence.
100%.
I can speak success into existence. I can speak whatever I want into existence because I'm capable. And I've proven that. And it's like, that's the beauty of the sport.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of jiu-jitsu. And guys that, guys at work, but they don't understand that. And they're supportive and they all sat there and watched at work while I competed, and that's cool. But it's like, I don't think they understand like everything I've put my mind, body, soul through to get to the level that I'm at.
Yeah.
And there's beauty in that,
Yeah. 100%, man. 100%. Well, listen, we've been going for about 3 hours, guys.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
I blame you for that thing was an hour at least.
Whoa, bro, that was like 15 minutes.
Did you just go DM him right now when we were in here?
Yeah. Let's.
I was like, you're a bitch.
Let's make sure we tag
You
him.
hit him with the Marshall Matters. Like,
come fight Aaron.
Dear, I text
Wilson
you, but you
right
still
now.
ain't calling.
But listen, man. You have meant you mean a lot to me and my family.
I think Aaron, has been a part of both of our.
Yeah.
Guys,
I'm not going to say it, but jiu-jitsu.
Hey, he's more than that.
Careers?
He's more than that. He's my little big brother.
if I've been able to be a good representative for Arizona Jiu-Jitsu, then I've done everything I set out to do.
You are absolutely that, man, and more. I mean, there's something about you, Josh Rodriguez, Tyson. There's a couple other guys. There's very few, man.
Tojo.
Yeah, no, not Tojo, but there's something about you guys that really, really like pushed me. You know what I mean? You guys pushed me, and I've always been like super competitive in my life, and I like to compete at the highest level I possibly can. And you've been a big part of that motivation for me, man. I can't say enough good things about you, man.
You better hit him with the final questions.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna run you through the lightning round. But do you have anything closing that you want to talk about,
dude? All joking aside, like I think Alex and I speak for each other. Like, dude, we love you. You're like one of our brothers in jiu-jitsu, because like you've been there since we started jiu-jitsu. Like Alex and I in the grand scheme of things, Alex and I started at the same time, like roughly 10 years ago, right? And you were already well established underneath Paul. And I think it without like people like you and the guys you mentioned, Bufanda, Brandon Walker, Daniel Rodriguez, Josh Rodriguez, like all those guys, like I don't know where we would be right now. Like,
No.
and Paul Nava, obviously Paul Nava, but like, you're a big part of like a lot of where Alex and I are in our jiu-jitsu career, and it's really fucking cool that like we could like we all know people here, like in this room, we all know people who started jiu-jitsu like around the time that Alex and I started, and maybe even the people that started when you started, who incognito. We haven't seen or heard from them since then, right? And we're all still here, and it's like it's just really cool that we're still here, and we're all still like fucking brothers under jiu-jitsu. Like it's a fucking cool thing, and I don't think a lot of people, like you were talking about, like the guys you work with under at the fire station, like they have a little bit of understanding, but like it's a little different, right? Like we all kind of like we've been around. It's like, you know, people come and go like with jobs and stuff like that. They'll start with you and then they'll disappear in, you know, 3 or 4 years or whatever. But like jiu-jitsu is one of those things that you have to stick around with for a decade or more before it's like real. Yeah. And we're all here. Yeah. We're all still here.
You know,
and I'm not going anywhere either.
You know,
that's
what
thing.
Exactly.
One of my favorite things is when parents come to me and they'll ask me, well, how long does it take before it really clicks? And I'm like, 7 years.
You're like, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I'll tell you when it does.
About 7 years, man.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh shit, that sounds like daunting, right?
Yeah.
But it's really true, man.
This ain't fucking Taekwondo, bro.
It's not Taekwondo, man. We're not doing katas. Like, this is like another human being trying to ruin your life.
Yeah. But then is also your brother.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's fucking cool. Like a lot of people don't understand. I mean, the people that listen to this podcast do understand, because I think most people that listen to this
12 people that listen
all
to this
all
podcast.
tens of people who listen to this podcast.
You'll probably get like another 3 or 4 from me.
Yeah, I hope so. Hope so.
At least 3 or 4.
Those
more.
fuckers from the fire department better start listening.
But like anybody who doesn't, but anybody who's like not in the jiu-jitsu community who doesn't understand, it's like it's just like there's a fraternity, or not even a fraternity, but like just like
it is.
It's like it
is.
It's like a club of people who like we just fucking stuck it out, bro.
Yeah,
that's it.
So before we get into the lightning round, Aaron, let everybody know how they can find you, your shitty Instagram, your Facebook, whatever it is.
I know there's not a lot of content on there. The content that I do have is pretty fire.
Yeah, it is. It's good. It's good.
OnlyFans /
There's a very
I would totally subscribe, guys.
Please. Honestly, I'm just on Instagram.
Okay.
Aaron Wilson BJJ. I have a Snapchat that I don't use. I usually just talk to Brendan Cornell on there, or Paul. That's literally the only 2 people I talk to on there. I'm on Facebook, but it's just because my Instagram shares my shit on there. Yep. Other than that, I'm really not on there. So just I don't have a YouTube channel. Maybe down the road I'll start showing techniques and stuff.
He's starting to kill me.
I have a whole series I've been working on for Wrestling for Jiu-Jitsu. And it's taking me years, but it's really cool stuff. So maybe I will start to share that on YouTube soon.
That would be great.
But anyways, if you want to follow me, Aaron Wilson BJJ on Instagram. That's pretty much what I operate out of on every occasion.
Awesome, man.
You should have Alex and use his gym to fucking promote that shit.
100%, man. If you're part of the academy, if you're part of this culture, the YouTube, please follow Aaron. It's fantastic. Like I said, he was my first wrestling coach and completely transformed my jiu-jitsu, and one of my best friends. Yeah, and to call me the Mexican George Clooney, that's pretty awesome.
I meant it too.
All right, so we're going to go into a series of lightning round questions.
I hope you're ready for this bullshit.
And if you find a question that is a little bit antiquated, that's my fault. Just pass.
Shut the fuck up. Just answer the question.
All right, here we go. Name. All right, here we go. Name a question. Name a game show you think you could actually win.
The Price is Right.
Nice. What's your favorite cheat meal?
Cheat meal?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so lame. I eat clean all the time. If I was gonna do a cheat meal, it would probably be just a ridiculous burger from like a fancy chain. If I'm gonna go with a burger in particular that I want to, I'm gonna hit up AZ Wilderness.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit one of their burgers, and then I'm gonna hit them duck fat fries too. Because
Fuck yeah.
And then
dude.
smoke a cigarette.
I will smoke a cigar.
Yeah.
I will smoke a cigar.
Nice. What's the longest you've gone without brushing your teeth?
I don't no more than a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't camp. What's your go-to karaoke song? Gun to your head.
Yeah.
You've been here, motherfucker.
I know.
Like, I know.
I know. I'm just. I gotta rock a Wheezy F Baby every time. I'm gonna be up there rapping Lil Wayne, dude.
I love it.
And I've done it before. And I'll do it, and I will do it again.
Name a dumb song you secretly like.
A dumb song.
Like, for me, it's Bootylicious.
Ooh,
Yeah.
dude.
Wrecking Ball Miley
Is
Cyrus, bro.
Bootylicious Fergie?
No, it's not. It's not
Okay,
Fergie. Yeah.
Wrecking Ball, bro.
Some Fergies back in the day. No, wait. Let me think about this for. Can I think about it?
That's
for a
fine.
second?
Yeah. It's lightning round, but
So
Slowest lightning ever.
me and my coworker, we used to work in a building. Am I allowed to have
What's
an
her
extended
name?
answer to
yes,
this?
100%.
His name is Andre Miller. And we worked with, it's called, it was detention for like all the bad kids, but it
Yep.
was all day. It was awful.
Yep.
It was all day. And every Friday we would play that song. It's Friday, Friday. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. We played for the kids and they hated it. And dude, we got the biggest kick out of it. So like, I've always loved that song. Just
I love
from
it.
that experience.
You sleep in or nap?
Neither.
PlayStation or Xbox?
I don't play video games anymore, but when I did,
Bullshit.
I don't play video games. I haven't for a very long time. But when I did, NBA 2K, it was on PlayStation.
DC or Marvel?
Marvel, get out of here.
Yeah,
Do you-
get the fuck out of here with DC bullshit.
Do you use a public restroom or hold it?
Well, considering that I would blow up Paul's,
Equal opportunity.
And we come full circle.
Equal opportunity here.
dude, listen. Last year on the way home from Rocky Point at the border, I'll just say, listen, I've used some pretty sketchy bathrooms.
If you gotta go, you gotta go.
Like, sometimes you can't hold it.
Travel into the future or back in time?
Man, that's a loaded question. I'm gonna go back in time and get some lottery numbers.
Right on. Rolling Stones or Elvis?
I don't care about that.
What is your favorite childhood TV show?
If I had to go back in my childhood and relive any TV show, that original X-Men was Darkwing Duck.
All right.
Ooh,
dope.
Darkwing Duck was
But
good.
honestly,
Yeah.
dude, if I had to go relive any show, I always had this dream. My sister's a year and a half younger than me. We're like pretty much twins.
Yeah.
We always wanted to be on Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Oh fuck!
As the silver monkeys, dude. And we should have been it.
Nice.
So me and my sister Alyssa,
The one in Vegas.
yeah,
Yeah.
we should have been on the Legends of the Hidden
I
Temple.
love it.
100%.
Go
I
visit
love
her.
it.
She's fucking badass.
I will.
Our-
I'm gonna go see her in a couple weeks, actually.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Right on.
Oh, this is badass.
She's
fucking-
dope as fuck. You met
Yeah.
her and Paul. She hugs. Yeah.
What's
she-
that?
I met her.
What's that
Yeah.
bar she works at?
Beer Park in Vegas.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
It's fucking dope.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a great spot.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. If you love the podcast, please like and subscribe. Please check us out on Instagram, on Facebook, the BJJ Foxcast. Don't look at our website. It sucks. And Tojo, thank you for being on. Bro, Aaron, thank you for being on, man. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
And that's it, man.
Good shit.
Love it. Thanks, brother.
Peace out, guys.
All right.